Sure, someone could translate it, but I'm not really interested in talking about KSP at this moment in time. I'm really, really. Guys, I'm pissed. I'm trying as hard as I can to keep my cool, you know? Like, I'm trying as hard as I can to not freak out. But, man, does that suck. But hey, I mean, the program's still intact, so it's not the worst thing to happen, but it's pretty damn close. It's pretty close. It's pretty close to the worst thing. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of time. I'll be back. I have 2 darts left. One's up at the station, so we have to bring that one down. That's gonna. I don't want to. I'm not doing that. And then we have the one that's already broken. So I'm not. No, hater. They'll stay up there for a little while. they could stay up there for a little bit, and we'll. So what happens to the lunar deadline? Do you want to launch? Do you want me to launch more Kerbals on Darts Lava? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory at this point, don't you think? Deadline too soon. Hater, I'm hating you right now, pretty hard. I'm hating you right now. Pretty. I know. Oh my goodness, does that suck? Oh God. Ah. This blows, man. This sucks. I hate everything right now. You know what? I'm gonna go. I need some comfort food. I'm gonna go get tendies. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll see you guys back here in a little bit for Delta.
which houses Chinese treasures dating back some 4,000 years.
Well, let's hit the road.
All right, I'm back. I just made the quickest lightning round trip I could to McDonald's because I wanted McDonald's French fries. Because I needed to make myself feel better. Oh man, do I suck. I screwed that up so bad. Oh, that's gonna suck. Are they fresh fries? Yeah, they are, Sneaky. The drive-thru was full at the Mickey D's, so I went inside, and you know what I do? Sneaky, I do this thing called being nice to people, the people behind the register, and just, you know, I be nice to them, and I always just end up getting fresh fries. It's funny how that works. It's funny how that works. Yeah.
Discovery,
Nice.
go and throttle up.
Hey, Mac Parts, what's up, brother? Tier 2. Tier 2, 3-monther. Thanks, man. I mean, sometimes it's worth the wait, dude. Mickey D's fries are nasty and In-N-Out fries are even worse. Fight me. I mean, I will, and you'll lose. Yarg, it is what it is, dude. We knew the risks involved. Alright, so what's the story? Fill me in, dudes. What's the story with Delta? What does the next two go? I don't know, Hasty. I have to kind of figure that one out, dude. Yeah, Yarg, hey, it is what it is, bro. Yarg, I could not have put that thing down better. Like, I couldn't have, man. That was the best I could do. Yeah, Swishio, we gotta figure stuff out. Is there a stream up for the ULA event? I thought that would have been gone live by now. Stream starts in 3 minutes. Oh, okay. Thanks, Phil. Well, that's a pretty cool logo, huh? One hop, net Wednesday. How's the truck build? Truck build's okay. I gotta buy the connectors. Well, Sneaky, the Mickey D's is a mile away, give or take. And it's in Boston. I went 1 mile, pulled in, saw the drive-thru was too long a line, went inside, talked, got my food there, came out, drove home in like 20 minutes. It's pretty good, man. That's pretty good, dude. I got lucky though, hitting a bunch of red lights because there's a lot of lights, a lot of traffic lights because in the city, you know. Mac, I like that. That's cool, man. All right, so we'll wait for the stream to go here. All right, let's see what we got. Nice, Thomas. Oh, that's cool, Cyborg. Right on. Quick server question. How much of the swamp you want filled in? Well, I can look while the stream is waiting to go live. Let's see. Pretty much all of this. Go, Killer Fun, from here to about here, and then leave the canals. Leave the canals. It just basically from the wood hut to the junction right here for the canals, all the way over to here. Just fill all of that in right there. Just fill all that in. If you could. That's not SimCity. That's the community Minecraft project, guys. I have plans. The mission will go to about 200 by 1,000 kilometers sun synchronous. KH-11 payload's about 17,000 kilos. Nice. The Minecraft EPA would be upset with you. There's plenty of swamp left. Don't worry. Here we go. Alright, I'm going to mute my mic, guys, during this so I can eat. I'll think about it, Sebby. Oh, sneaky. No, hater, I haven't.
Launch director.
Launch vehicle is ready to launch.
Mission director.
3,
You have permission.
2,
Go on.
have ignition of the RS-68A main engine. And we have liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket.
Mach 1. Execute. And we have indication of spacecraft separation.
At Space Launch Complex 6, a Delta IV Heavy rocket is fueled and ready to launch the NROL-82 mission for the National Reconnaissance Office. Good afternoon and welcome to Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. I'm Caroline Kirk, a systems engineer with ULA. Liftoff is currently planned for 1:47 p.m. Pacific, and the launch team is not working any issues at this time.
Discovery,
Approximately
go and throttle up.
15 minutes ago, the launch count entered a planned hold. We have 2 planned holds in today's 9.5-hour launch count. These planned holds give our team additional time to In addition to watching our webcast, you can follow live mission progress at ulalaunch.com. First Lieutenant Max Rush, the 30th Space Wing's weather officer, recently briefed the weather conditions here at Vandenberg Air Force Base. Here's what we're seeing. The probability of violating launch constraints is 40%, the ground winds are 10 to 15 knots out of the northwest, and the temperature is 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So, the weather is within the launch commit criteria and looks favorable for our planned T0 at 1:47 p.m. Pacific.
And
liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket.
At T-minus 14 seconds, the launch table HBOs ignite to burn off excess hydrogen injected into the flame duct. At T-minus 7 seconds, the starboard Delta IV ROFI lights, igniting its RS-68A engine. 2 seconds later, the center and port RS-68A engines ignite, generating more than 2.1 million pounds of total thrust to lift the rocket off the pad. This staggered engine start mitigates the fireball created by the hydrogen-burning Delta IV Heavy. Shortly after liftoff, Delta IV begins a pitchover to attain the proper flight path while minimizing the pressure the vehicle experiences during flight. The Delta IV reaches Mach 1, the speed of sound, at 1 minute 21 seconds. At 3 minutes 56 seconds, the port and starboard booster engines shut down. 2 seconds later, the port and starboard boosters are jettisoned to shed their weight. The center booster engine then throttles to full power to maximize performance against gravity losses. Approaching main engine cutoff, Delta IV is burning propellant at a rate of 1,945 pounds, or 882 kilograms per second, traveling at more than 12,725 miles, or 20,479 kilometers per hour, and located 130 miles, or 209 kilometers in altitude, and 350 miles, or 563 kilometers downrange. At 5 minutes 37 seconds, propellant levels deplete, and the main engine shuts down. 7 seconds later, the Delta IV separation system activates to release the first stage. The vehicle now weighs approximately 7% of what it did at liftoff. At 5 minutes 57 seconds, the Delta cryogenic second stage, or DCSS main engine ignites to carry the payload to orbit. During ascent, NROL-82 is protected inside a 5-meter diameter payload fairing. At approximately 6 minutes 7 seconds, the payload fairing is jettisoned. Delta IV continues its national security mission following payload fairing jettison.
After today's liftoff, our viewers watching from Southern California may be able to see the Delta IV Heavy in flight. And, as you can see from this graphic, those of you located in Los Angeles and the surrounding areas might even see port and starboard booster separation at approximately L plus 4 minutes. To get a closer look at this graphic, check out @ULA Launch on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. ULA is using the Delta IV Heavy configuration to launch the NROL-82 mission. This is the 13th Delta IV Heavy launch and ULA's 143rd mission.
Could they do this with Vulcan? Yeah, it's possible, but nobody's requested it yet. Ooh, hello. Why are they launching from California? It's easier to get into a polar orbit from there. This one is going, well, I think it's going sun synchronous, but I'm not sure. But this integration footage is tops.
Service tower at Space Launch Complex 6 and made it to the Delta IV rocket. On Saturday, the Mobile Assembly Shelter, or MAS, was moved to its launch position. The MAS protects the Delta IV rocket from the wind and fog, so common to its location here on California's Pacific coast.
I don't know.
At approximately 5 a.m. this morning, final preparations began at Space Launch Complex 6. Using 40 hydraulic cylinders at pressures nearing 3,500 psi, the MST was raised 8 inches and rolled back, revealing the Delta IV launch vehicle. At 100 feet by 100 feet by 300 feet, the MST is as tall as a football field is long, as wide as the length of a basketball court, and weighs about 10 million pounds. Using a carriage transporter system traveling at about a quarter mile per hour, it takes about 25 minutes to roll the MST to its launch position 300 feet east of the rocket. The Delta IV Heavy stands 233 feet tall, or about 23 stories, and weighs about 1.6 million pounds fully fueled. The 3 Delta
meters.
IV RS-68A main
Yeah,
engines produce more than 2 million pounds of thrust at liftoff.
Roger.
Okay.
Helsing.
Here we go.
Establish scan pattern 140.
Roger.
VSE, LC.
Vehicle Systems Engineer.
VSE.
First step 1180, verify base bending moment instrumentation is active and data is valid.
DBM is fully mission capable and recommend placard 6 alpha.
You can't do
Roger.
synchronous in Kerbal.
OOLC, net 1.
Here's the one.
I'll be utilizing placard 6 alpha.
Copy 6 alpha.
Today's launch is for the National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO. This is ULA's 31st launch for the NRO and 9th use of the Delta IV Heavy for the NRO. The NRO is a joint organization engaged in the research and development, acquisition, launch, and operation of innovative overhead reconnaissance systems necessary to meet the needs of the intelligence community and the Department of Defense. The NRO is recognized for its transformational intelligence collection systems that are used to develop highly accurate military targeting data, support international peacekeeping and humanitarian relief operations, and to assess the impact of natural disasters.
That's a really, man, that's a really nice way to say that. That was a really nice way to say that. Nice, I love it. No, there's 4 Delta 4s left, including this one, guys. Oop, a little bit of popping.
The NRO provided the artwork we see on today's payload fairing. The details on today's artwork were inspired by a World War II fighter pilot who was awarded the Medal of Honor, a Navy Cross, and Purple Heart for heroism and dedication, and who had ace fighter pilot skills. This patriot was Gregory Boyington, known to many as Pappy. This
Pappy
logo was designed to commemorate the many heroic acts and sacrifices that have been made to protect America. The artwork features an eagle, symbolizing freedom, wearing traditional World War II flight gear. Behind
Hell
the eagle is an F-4U Corsair, the aircraft that Pappy Boyington flew while in the Marine Corps. Additionally, we have the Latin phrase Tacitae Libertatis Custodumque, which translates to Silent Guardians of Freedom. Below the mission artwork, there is an additional patch recognizing the NRO's 60th anniversary this year.
Cool. What a graphic.
NROL 82 is ULA's 90th national security mission. Gary Wentz, Vice President of
Maybe
Government
Captain.
and Commercial Programs, talks about the significance of these missions.
We're really honored to be here today launching our 90th mission for our national security defense customer as we begin the celebration of the National Reconnaissance Office's 60th anniversary. National security satellites range everything from GPS to intelligence sources that our decision makers use to direct and focus our warfighters in defending our country.
It's glitchy.
A
It
good
sounds
example
glitchy, guys.
of a national security space satellite would be something like a GPS system. It was previously used to locate warfighters in their domain and direct them in the area of a target. And since then, that capability has evolved and being used by citizens across the world. Launching these critical payloads for our national security defense customer is extremely important. There's a lot of challenges. You have to have a team that's focused with a national security background and have been cleared. You have multiple payloads that are coming together with unique requirements to test and check out before launch. We focus on vertical integration to give that spacecraft a similar environment on the ground as it'll see during ascent and headed to orbit. And then we actually deploy them at different locations because they serve different functions. We're really looking forward to starting with our new launch vehicle, the Vulcan Centaur, and actually be able to start integrating some of these critical payloads on that platform and launching here in the near future.
Verification.
Roger.
OSM, verify the whole fire switch is in the proceed position.
Today's flight is dedicated to
come
workers
on,
who have been
guys!
vital to the fight against COVID-19. This mission is also in memory of 2 NRO teammates. A few moments ago, Mission Director Colonel Chad Davis remembered these friends and colleagues, Lisa Wilson and Ross Kobayashi. Let's listen in.
Today's launch is dedicated to the memory of past NRO teammates, notably including Lisa Wilson, engineer, friend, wife, mother and grandmother, who for 32 years provided unbounded support and technical direction for critical space lift missions, resulting in precise orbital insertion of satellite vehicles. Lisa's achievements are to be remembered as an example of service of the freedoms we stand for. Go for flight. And Ross Kobayashi, mentor, friend, husband, and father, who for 25 years had been part of the OSL mission assurance team, responsible for the assessment of launch vehicle risks and the success of over 50 national launches across the Titan, Atlas, and Delta launch systems. Ross served as the technical chair for 28 NRO launches, leading the efforts to safely shepherd the payloads to orbit, culminating with the launch of NRO L-71 from Slick 6. Fight on forever, Ross.
We watched that
MD
launch.
out.
This is Delta Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We remain in the planned built-in hold as preparations for launch continue. In a few moments, launch conductor Scott Barney will poll the launch team for the final go to pick up the count. 27 engineers and managers are polled for system status and readiness to proceed. This is the final status check before launch for all Delta vehicle systems, ground systems, the spacecraft, and the U.S. Air Force Western Range. The vehicle system readiness poll includes electrical systems, hydraulics, pneumatics, propulsion systems, flight control, and propellants. Let's listen in as Scott Barney performs the final polling of the launch team.
It's the best Delta Factory. It's hard to get, I agree.
Status check. to
What's the
proceed.
payload?
Terminal count. First stage systems. Propulsion.
Go.
Hydraulics.
Go. Chat.
Locks.
Go.
LH2.
Go.
Chat.
Second stage system. Locks.
Go.
LH2.
Go.
Electrical systems. Airborne.
Go.
Ground.
Go.
Facility.
Go.
RFFTS.
Go.
Flight control.
Go.
COM.
Go.
GCQ.
Go.
Operations support.
Go.
Pneumatics.
Go.
Umbilicals.
Go.
HAZGAS.
Go.
ECS.
Vandenberg
Go.
victory.
Red line monitor.
Go.
Quality.
Go.
Op safety.
Go.
Go.
Yole safety officer.
Go.
Vehicle
Chat
system engineer.
is go.
Go.
Anami
AC.
chief.
Go.
RC.
Range coordinator.
Clear to proceed.
LD.
Launch director.
Launch vehicle is ready to launch.
LD or MD.
Mission director.
You have permission to launch.
Proceeding with the count.
L-minus 6 minutes.
ALC. Verify T0 is set for 20:47:00 Zulu.
Verified.
MEQ. Establish swing arm lock pins pull.
Okay.
Active.
They're pulling
Polling
the
is
lock
complete,
pins.
and the launch team has given the go for launch. The countdown will resume approximately 2 minutes from now. At T-minus 4 minutes and counting, we will enter the terminal count and begin securing the second stage liquid oxygen tank. At T-minus 3 minutes and 32 seconds, CBC liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen tank securing is started, including closing the propellant fill and drain valves. Also, at T-minus 3 minutes and 32 seconds, vehicle transfer from ground facility power to its own internal battery power will be complete. At T-minus 3 minutes, the vehicle ordnance system will be armed and the CBC liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen propellant tanks are verified to be at flight pressure and flight level. At 2 minutes prior to liftoff, the team will verify that the hydraulic system is pressurized and confirm CBC, DCSS, and FTS battery voltages. At T-minus 1 minute and 20 seconds, the team will begin securing the second stage liquid hydrogen tank. At T-minus 60 seconds, Western Range readiness is verified. At T-minus 50 seconds, the DCSS liquid hydrogen tank is secured at flight level. At T-minus 15 seconds, the launch table HBOs are ignited at the base of the vehicle to burn off excess hydrogen. At T-minus 7 seconds, the starboard CBC engine is ignited. At T-minus 5 seconds, the port and center CBC engines are ignited. Liftoff will occur at T0.
Oh, yeah?
This is Delta Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We anticipate releasing the hold in just a few moments.
Yeah.
T-minus 4 minutes and counting.
Okay, they released from the hold, guys.
3:55.
This might go today.
Ground pyros enabled.
That's correct.
The countdown
yep.
clock has resumed. We've entered the terminal count and are go for launch at 1:47 p.m. Pacific time.
Second stage lock, secure at flight level.
Okay. I don't understand, John. No, Yarg, this is another one. This is the first attempt for launching this one for 82, for L82. This rocket takes off in a fireball, so if you see it go, you're in for a treat. I know, Audrey, yeah.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Oh, CBC. Yeah. Nice.
T-minus 3 minutes, 7
What's the
seconds.
payload? Well, actually, the payload is... And that's what the payload is. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
249.
FTS internal.
Flight termination system is armed. Yeah, you guys, it's really pretty obvious, this payload. It's actually trying to get to... And then they're going to launch it, and what it's going to do when it gets up into orbit...
CBC locks at flight pressure and flight level.
Yeah, it's a really great mission. Really great mission profile. Meh. You'll know where it is in a matter of hours? Dude, I just told you where it was. It's going...
CBC LH2 at flight pressure and flight level.
Hydraulic pressure at 4,000.
2 minutes, 159.
Vehicle internal.
155.
154.
Launch sequencer start.
Okay. That'd be cool, Ryan, but I don't know.
140.
FCS launch enabled.
137.
There's no Delta 5, Ryan. Where's the drone ship? Oh.
T-minus 90 seconds. The launch vehicle, payload, ground systems, and western range are go for launch.
Okay.
20.
OCU's armed.
FCS count started.
Flight control system count started. A little popping on the microphone there.
T-minus 1 minute.
Engine set box go.
Rock, report range status.
Rock, range is green.
I do
50
that.
seconds.
Range Operations Coordinator, ROC. He's basically... The ROC is basically the tower. So to
Second stage
speak.
LH2, secure at flight level.
Okay. Second stage is pressed for flight.
30 seconds.
You should see them
Status.
close those
Go
vents.
Delta. Go NROL 82.
Okay. She talked over the status check. Oh no.
15 seconds.
All right. Stand by for ROFI ignition.
ROFI ignition.
10, 9.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Okay.
4,
There's an ignition.
2,
Let's fly.
1, and
Yeah!
liftoff.
No
of the
fire,
United
dude.
Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket carrying the
Go,
NRO
baby,
82
go!
mission for the National Reconnaissance Office.
You on the pitch over maneuver?
Oh, that's sick.
The parameters look good on all 3 cores.
That's my Delta. That's awesome.
Core booster is now throttling down to the partial thrust level. Partial thrust achieved.
You are hearing the voice of Rob Kesselman providing launch vehicle ascent data.
Now, 50 seconds into flight, vehicle is 3 miles in altitude, 5 miles downrange distance, traveling at 970 miles per hour.
Oh, units that I understand. Oh boy. Yes. Yes! My man!
All vehicle systems look good at this time. Now at T plus 80 seconds, vehicle is now passing through max Q, maximum dynamic pressure.
Okay.
Mach 1, vehicle is now supersonic.
Heck yeah.
All three RS-68 looks healthy at this time.
Fly, baby, fly. Look at that thing. She's a beast. 3 engines doing that. Really moving out now. Look at that thing.
Vehicle systems continue to be healthy.
Look at that man thing go. That's so cool, man.
The second stage reaction control system pressurization valve has now opened.
Okay. They're chilling down that second stage.
Now 125 seconds into flight. Delta is now 18 miles in altitude, 9 miles downrange distance, traveling at 1,800 miles per hour.
That's really good. I like that. Man.
Delta has now gone to closed loop guidance. Vehicle body rates are nominal.
High? Okay. Whoa. Whoa.
3 minutes remain in the booster
Whoa.
phase of flight.
Anybody just get vertigo for a second? I'm like, whoa.
Delta 4 rocket now weighs just 1/2 of what it did at liftoff, burning propellant at a rate of almost 5,000 pounds per
That's
second.
awesome. Man, I dropped the ball today, but ULA didn't, that's for sure.
1 minute until port and starboard booster engine cutoff. Vehicle systems look healthy at this time. The attitude control system, the autopilot has controlled all vehicle body rates to near zero.
Spotulous, as long as the guidance systems know like what it's doing, it's fine. If it intends to turn the thing like this and then roll into position,
Approximately 30 seconds remaining now until the port and starboard booster engines cut off.
Nice, Night Viper. Yeah, it should be fine. The second stage resembles the ICPS. It is an ICPS, Ryan. Interim cryogenic propulsion
Strap-on
stages.
boosters are now throttling down to the partial thrust level.
The ICPS is just a DCSS. It's a Delta 4 upper stage. These are live views, Nuffly, yeah.
Strap-on booster cutoff.
Okay, watch. Ready?
And separation of the strap-on boosters.
Bye.
Core booster is now throttling back up.
Oh, what a monster of a rocket, dude. Oh, man, it's a shame we're throwing that in the water. It's a shame. Damn shame. But that's okay.
Core booster is operating as expected at the 100% throttle level.
Oh, look at that.
The upper stage lock system has now begun the boost phase chill down sequence to begin thermal conditioning of the RL-10 engine.
Will it be fished out? No.
1 minute remaining in the booster phase of flight.
No, it won't.
Upper stage fuel system has begun the boost phase chill down sequence.
Okay. Why does it seem like the rocket headed west instead of east? Because it did. It's launching southwest, James.
Booster performance continues to look good at this time.
I mean, Sebi, Delta 4 was magical when it first started flying, dude. People were like, this is Falcon 9,
Vehicle
dude.
body
This is
rates
the future.
continue to be near zero as expected.
Well, not this is Falcon 9, but they're like, this thing is the future. This is the future rocketry. All hydrogen, single engine. It's very simple.
Core booster is now throttling down.
Is it raining for me? No.
We have BECO, first stage main engine cutoff. We have stage separation.
No way, Night Viper. Oh!
NED's deployment has begun.
Watch the nozzle. Watch the nozzle. Watch the nozzle.
Pre-start on the RL-10.
Never. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Yeah, it came back. No, no. Yes, yes. No. Yes, yes.
We have ignition on the RL-10. That's
yeah, that's awesome. Did you see the nozzle deploy? That's cool.
Indication of
Yes!
successful
Yes!
payload
No!
turn jettison.
PLF jettison confirmed. You guys know we could see it in the reflection, right?
This year, the National Reconnaissance Office celebrates its 60th anniversary. From its inception in 1961, the NRO has used its incredible intelligence collection capabilities to meet the nation's challenges. Let's take a look back at the agency that has pushed the envelope of U.S. space-based intelligence collection with courage and ingenuity.
Guys! It's very rare that you see that, Graph Shark.
This year, the National Reconnaissance Office celebrates 60 years since its founding in September of 1961.
Mike, you suck.
Thanks to our heritage, the NRO today has an unrivaled constellation of advanced overhead reconnaissance systems
Electron.
that help protect our nation 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. As part of our anniversary celebration, the NRO's Center for the Study of National Reconnaissance has put together a year-long program highlighting key events and innovations that shaped the NRO's past, present, and future. In a moment, I'll share some of those historic milestones with you, but be sure to follow us on social
No,
media
Gilmore,
for more
not at all.
60th anniversary content. When we think about satellites today and the near real-time digital data that NRO overhead systems provide, it's hard to believe that the first overhead reconnaissance efforts relied on camera film and
Yeah,
balloons.
they jettisoned camera and
One
they
of the
picked it up
earliest
with a
film return
C-130.
reconnaissance efforts was called Genetrix. In 1956, the U.S. Air Force began launching high-altitude balloons from Europe and Turkey that would sail across Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union, taking pictures along the way as they floated by. Then, when they got out over the Pacific,
Boxcar.
the Air Force retrieved the balloons from midair in C-119 aircraft. This
Cool.
recovery experience was invaluable a few years later for the Corona program. Corona took aerial
Watch this.
recovery a step further because the film was ejected from a satellite instead of floating along in a balloon. These early film vehicle captures were
Watch.
so essential to the field of reconnaissance.
Oh,
there were
that's
six
so
examples
legit.
in the NRO headquarters lobby. Each parachute represents one of the critical innovations that brought the NRO from 1961 up to today. Another enduring legacy is our history as both a member of the intelligence community and the Department of Defense. In the late 1950s, all three military services, as well as the CIA, were involved in trying to launch satellites, each for their own unique purposes.
Look at that,
By the time
redstone.
President Kennedy took office in 1961, it was clear that all of these various efforts would be more effective and efficient if they were managed within one single organization to control budgets and facilitate coordination. So on September 6, 1961, CIA and the DoD signed an agreement to form the jointly managed National Reconnaissance Office to run the National Reconnaissance Program. As a result of our unique position,
It's not
NRO
though,
for
Nova,
6
but that's all right.
decades has worked with our DoD and IC partners to inject advanced capabilities into our operations to deliver critical intelligence to policymakers and warfighters worldwide.
Hey, nice saw.
We work with our mission partners, including NGA, NSA, CIA, DIA, Space Command, Space Force, to provide global situational awareness to government and civilian agencies. Today's NRO-L82 mission launch represents not just years of planning
yeah,
and
we're inspecting,
collaboration
Joe.
for the specific mission, but a 6-decade legacy of innovation and reconnaissance.
Rock, report range status.
Status
Range
check.
green. Launch enabled.
We have main engine ignition. 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket.
When the nation needs eyes and ears where no other collectors can reach, it turns to the NRO.
This is a lot longer than
Delta
they
mission
usually
control
stream.
at T plus 10 minutes. Rob Kesselman just confirmed the successful completion of the early phase of today's flight, and all systems continue
don't
to
think
operate
so, K3,
nominally.
no.
I'd like to thank Rob for his support of today's show.
Thanks, Rob.
For more information about this mission, please follow us on Facebook and on Twitter, or our blog
Dude,
at ulalaunch.com.
The rocket earrings, though.
We'll leave you now with another look at the liftoff of the Delta IV Heavy rocket
Vulcan
carrying
LQ2.
NROL-82.
Hello, question
for
for
the
you. Why hasn't
National
everybody been back to the
Reconnaissance
moon? Money.
I'm Caroline Kirk, and on behalf of the entire launch
Money
team,
and the need to
thank
do
you
it.
for joining us,
Yeah.
and have a great day.
Pretty much.
7,
It's mostly
6,
money, though.
5, 4, 2, 1, and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket carrying the
Oh,
NROL-82 mission for the National Reconnaissance Office.
Oh, yeah.
You on the pitch over maneuver?
Nice. Yeah, I'll go with that, John.
The parameters look good on all 3 cores.
That was nice. That was a good launch. Yeah, in terms of why we haven't been back to the moon, well, at first it was cost, and then, you know, it turns out that, so, the reason why they stopped flying the Saturn V is because it was too expensive. Little did they realize is that, I mean, it turns out, and they figured this out, yeah, Kelly, it is, that if you sink $3 or $4 billion into making a rocket go to the moon, it's not going to cost $3 to $4 billion every time you go to freaking launch it, right? If you buy a car, is it more expensive than operating the car? No. Filling a car up with gas, it's not, or charging your car nowadays. I mean, electric cars are even better case example. We cited the high costs of Saturn V as the reason why, you know, we stopped going to the moon. And then we're gonna replace them with the space shuttle. The idea is that if the space shuttle launches a lot, you can go to space for cheaper, right? 2 things. If you don't launch the shuttle all the time, it turns out to be prohibitively expensive. And also, Saturn V probably would have been cheaper. But hindsight is 2020. So, that's why, you know, the space shuttle basically confined us into low Earth orbit for a very long time. It's only until now that we tried to do it in 2009. Tried to push for it. That didn't work. But now we're trying to make sure that we do it sustainably. So we do it in a way where it won't get canceled. So that's pretty much the reason why we haven't been back. Turns out it's really, really tough to build a freaking moon rocket. It's really tough. And it's like one of those things, like when you stop doing it, it's tough to get back into it, you know? Do you have your links? No, not really. About 7 seconds before it launched, there was a loud noise. Do you know what that noise was? It sounded like metal grinding on metal. You probably heard the swing arms retracting, Coolin. History repeats itself, I guess. I mean, apoptoxin, maybe. That's pretty petty, but who knows. Once that was realized, what was stopping them from reinstating the Saturn V? The hard work was done and the processes were set. Tay, you ever work a job and then leave and then come back to working that job? You ever do that? Just like honest question. If you like stop working at a job and you take like a year off and then maybe you go change the job. Cam, hold on. And then you come back to that job. It's not that bad. You remember a good amount of things, right? You remember a good amount of things. How about doing it 50 years later? Will you remember everything? No, maybe some things here and there. 5 years maybe? You know, we know how to do it. It's going to take a second for us to relearn it. It's going to take a second, dudes. So, I mean, hey. You know, people say, you know, it's just going to take a second to relearn how to do it. But we got to go and we got to commit to it. And that's what we're doing right now. I mean, we you know, they brought the Artemis program into the fold in 2018. And it looks like we're committing to it, which is good. That's good. We need to get back out into space. We need to commit to going to the moon. We need to commit to eventually going to Mars. And that seems to be the case. Everybody seems to be on the same page here. So, I mean, the other thing is that, yeah, Zonku, the Saturn V was made by guys in a machine shop. There were no CAD machines. There were no CNC machines doing that. The parts, it would take an incredible amount of time to go back and try to re-engineer everything. And I mean, it's not like we'd go hand machining the parts again. Take a lot of time and a lot of money to redo it. I mean, we could do that. Yeah, I mean, that's the real thing. When the Apollo engineers went out, and a lot of them left NASA out of protest. Von Braun himself left NASA. He left NASA in 1976. Hey, they said, hey, you want to help engineer the space shuttle? And he said, no, I don't want anything to do with that. That thing's a piece of junk. And then he left. He's like, nah, I'm good. All right, I'm gonna head out. I'll feed the sane, you know. So, why haven't we been back to the moon? There's a bunch of different reasons, but we're gonna fix those hopefully in the next couple of years. Well, that's the idea this time around, Pinseeker. They're trying to build Gateway. Gateway is a moon station, and hopefully the same results that, you know, the ISS had for keeping a sustainable program going happens out at the moon. That's the idea. Yeah, killer fun. Mm-hmm. Bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour, Alex. Comment allez-vous? All right. So, yeah, I mean, I think it'll happen someday. I think with SpaceX doing the lander, we're going to get there a lot quicker than we think we are. I hope they use Gateway as a research platform for long-duration deep space missions to Mars. That's literally what it's there for. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's there for, dude. So. Yeah, we'll get back there, Finn. I'm not worried. And that's not just me being optimistic. There was a time where I had to just be optimistic and say, "Oh, we'll get back eventually." Dude, we're going to go in this decade. I'm pretty damn sure. Barring some catastrophic event, yeah, we'll be fine. PBT, stop spamming my chat with stuff that's not pertinent to the conversation, or I'll make you stop doing it, please. So yeah, this happened already. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin files a protest against NASA awarding of the lunar lander Yep, okay. Saw that one coming. Me too, Rocket. Me too. Who told me to see their last? Ishiku. Okay. Dragon was launching a few days ago. It seemed like a wake was forming behind the second stage as it got into orbit. What was that? It's because it launched at dawn, so when the rocket got high enough in the air, the sun was illuminating the exhaust gases coming out of the vehicle. Usually, that's only a phenomenon that happens at dusk and dawn. So it's dark at the launch site, and it's dark where you're sitting, but you see all the gases coming out the booster, because where the booster is, it can see the sun. So the booster's in the sunlight, and you aren't. So it leaves this really awesome kind of phenomenon behind it that looks like a giant jellyfish. That's what you saw, Ishiku. It's really cool. Yeah, Crawdad, I believe this nation should commit itself, before this decade is out, of sending a man to the surface of the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. What's the hardest part of the Artemis mission? Lander. Lander bothered by far. Is Gateway's orbit also to test for a Mars mission? It's to test the living component of learning to live in deep space for long periods of time. Yep. Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they're easy, but because they are hard. think LBJ deserves more credit on Apollo. JFK was planning on canceling it. I don't know who spread that bullcrap of a rumor rocketology, but I've never found any concrete source confirming that ever. Ever. I don't know where people hear that, oh, JFK was going to cancel it. Why would he do that? That makes no sense. Can you give me a source on that, Rocket? Like, I'm not trying to call you out, but the only people I've heard say that are just a bunch of YouTubers. Yeah, she has a full video on it with no source. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Look, I don't think that... I want a source on that one, Rocket. I've watched that video. That makes absolutely no sense. She shows the video. I didn't see anything in the video, dude, but I'm not about to go barking up anyone's tree, you know? He was early before giving the speech. He wasn't certain it was worth it. There are letters, if I recall correctly, of him talking to a science cabinet member. Okay. Give me a source. Come on. Shut up, Dino. Storm, that's an op-ed post from somebody. Yeah, and you posted it again. Okay. Bro, can you explain this? Blue Origin argued that its proposal, which would allow the launch pad to be used by multiple companies, should have been favored. Huh? Alright, let's see what we got here. Blue Origin has filed a protest with the Government Accountability Office over NASA's selection of SpaceX in the Human Landing System competition. NASA has executed a flawless acquisition for the Human Landing System program and moved the goalposts at the last minute. What? That's very interesting wording. Is that the exact wording? Come on. No way. They didn't say move the... Surely they didn't say move the goalposts in a freaking... As discussed more fully below, the agency's award decision is flawed for the following reasons. The agency evaluation and award decision failed to allow offers to meaningfully compete for an award when the agency's requirement changed due to its undisclosed perceived shortfall of funding for the multi-year program lifecycle. The agency performed a flawed competitive acquisition in contravention of BAA rules and requirements. The agency's evaluation of Blue Origin's HLS proposal was flawed and unreasonable and conflicted with the broad agency announcement evaluation provisions. Hey, Demon. Thanks for the raid, bro. What were you working on today, dude? The agency improperly and desperately evaluated...
Go at throttle up.
Pete! SpaceX's Option A proposal, and E, the agency's evaluation changed the weight accorded to evaluation factors to make price, cost to the government, the most important factor because of the perceived funding limitations. For that reason discussed below, the protest should be sustained. Look, here's what I'm going to say. One, I said this when they awarded the contract, okay, first and foremost. NASA went back to SpaceX and renegotiated the price funding with SpaceX. And we just all assumed that they did that with all three of the contractors. I hope they didn't lie. That would really suck. On the other hand, if they went to all three contractors and said, hey, we can't afford this, we need to reevaluate, then yeah, then Blue's just... The document said they only asked SpaceX. Uh-oh. And Phil, I said it then, I'll say it now. How is that any different than what Doug Lavero did with Boeing? I looked at this and I read it in the source selection statement, right? And I said, how is this any different? A guy got fired from NASA for doing this exact thing less than a year ago. And everyone's like, no, EJ, it's not like that. That's not how that happened. Uh-oh. Yeah, they only approached SpaceX. I said this was going to be a lawsuit during my HLS breakdown. All right, cool. Yeah, Rocket Guy, that's what I did too. And everybody's like, no, EJ, that's not how that works. I can't even click on it, Forge. Okay, I got it. Okay, yep, all right. Seems to me that the national team and Dynetics were already out of the running to begin with a cost proposal. SpaceX bid wasn't changed in value, just in how it would break it down. Why go to companies who aren't going to win anyway? Because it's conflict of interest, Buck. You have to play it fair, dude. You have to play by the rules. That's why we have rules. You don't play by the rules, then then the rules don't matter. Look, I could have, like with mission mode this morning, I killed Jeb. I could have cited that I could have said I never saw the gear do that ever before. I've never seen the landing gear freak out like that. But the truth is that I've never seen it freak out exactly like that, but I know they can freak out. So if I don't play by if I don't play by my own damn rules, why should there be any rules at all? You have to follow procedure here, man. God, that hurt to say. Okay, Brimo. Yeah. I tried to go and land DART coming back from one of the lunar missions, and the landing gear decided to disagree with me. Yep. Major conflict of interest and possible accusations of collusion. We give you the contract, you drop the price. Yeah, Crash, I know. Doug Lavero got fired over this a year ago. Hello? Yeah, the price didn't change, though. That's the thing. NASA seemed to be very explicit about this in their source selection statement. Question, since the national team's lander had to be launched on the SLS, the Europa Clipper that legally had to be launched on SLS now isn't launching on SLS anymore. What will SLS be used for except for Orion? It'll be used for Orion because there's no other rocket that can throw Orion out to the moon, Swishio. You could sit here and say, oh, but launch it on a Falcon Heavy. Yeah, that's not powerful enough. Oh, well, what about this rocket? It's still not powerful enough. There's no other rocket that can do what it can do. What was that tongue of flame that shot up the side of the rocket just before liftoff? Unburnt hydrogen, Cupid. Delta 4 does that. That's one of the hard parts about working with hydrogen. Yeah, Hellfish, I don't know, man. I don't know, Goodger. Actually, it's okay for NASA to do that, but also shady because they couldn't even afford SpaceX. So approaching them without the prospect of actually picking them, unless they could move payments around, it is weird. Yep. I mean, Rocket, I could have told, like, I saw this one coming, and I said it in chat the day that we talked about it, the space news that we talked about it. I'm like, look, they can't do that. That's a conflict of interest. And I brought up Doug Lavero, and everybody said, nah, EJ, that's different. I'm like, okay. The selection statement stated that they could negotiate the price after a selection. SpaceX was the best rated and closest to the funding. So they decided to select them and negotiate the price. Interesting. I thought Blue Origin did something wrong with its proposal. I don't remember. Blue Origin CEO Bob Smith tells the New York Times, "It's really atypical for NASA to make these kind of errors. They're generally quite good at acquisition, especially its flagship missions. We felt that these errors need to be addressed and remedied." Doesn't really matter if the selection statement said things are fine. The BAA specific wording is what matters. Yeah, that's right. You have to go to the source. Yep, Pie Power. You guys got to play by the damn rules. Either way, BO was disqualified because they requested upfront payment despite being explicitly forbidden by the RFP. See Law Dog's last. I'm having trouble reading everything that chat is saying right now, Synerd. What happened? Blue Origin got mad. Blue Origin and the national team are filing a lawsuit against NASA for sole sourcing SpaceX. Dude, I have a feeling that would come back to bite us. So Mr. Smith said Blue Origin would put in bids on a future competition, but he added, the idea that we're going to be able to restore competition with something that right now is completely undefined and completely underfunded doesn't make a lot of sense to us. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, Hibbit, I don't know. Does this have anything to do with it? Let me see. Perhaps they should have submitted a valid proposal. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like I said, BOF doing this is actually okay. It's not them being salty. We'll just have to see what comes of it. Yep. Doug Lavero got fired for tipping off a contractor. Kind of different than the selection process. Yeah, TJ, I know. That's what people said. That's what people said when I said that they're going to countersue because of this. And yeah, you know, just it is what it is. Why would Dynetics also file an appeal? I don't know. Because they don't think they were judged correctly? Guys, look. Every time a contractor loses out on a selection like this, they file a lawsuit. So, it happens every time. Every stinking time. So, we'll see what comes of it. Does this have anything to do with it? To do with what, Shaw? That tweet was just linked like 2 seconds ago, dude. Yeah, Apatoxin. That's just kind of part of how this works. By the way, the Blue Origin bid was $5.99 billion, more than double what SpaceX was asking for. I doubt any negotiations with them would make it viable. Well, guys, this is what happens when you underfund things. I honestly don't want the government using the same backbone as the private sector. Yep, the recondenser is on. Okay. right. Well, let's see what's going on over here then.
Well, it's not the same as going to SpaceX and saying, "Can we talk about how you're going to pay, how we pay
Oh,
you?"
they're talking about it on NSF. Let's see.
We don't even think there's a worth to go back to you and talk to you about this. Also, your bid was illegal.
Yeah,
But
that's
we
not
could
what
have
I.
fixed this had it been. Had it
I'm
been
interested
less-
what the
had
NSF
it been
guys
more
have to say.
technically viable and less risky.
See, I didn't
But
read
again,
that either.
I need to go back and
Yeah.
read it because we read it differently. Yeah.
The stuff that I saw was they could have gone back to fix it, but they didn't have the budget, and they could not have reapproached Blue Origin in good faith, knowing that
Right.
even if Blue Origin fixed it, they wouldn't have the money to award to. That's tank farm activity, by the way.
Yeah.
So it said good faith in there. Like even if they fixed
Yes.
it, we don't have the money to choose them to.
Right.
Right.
Even if they went back and resolved the advance payment thing, which
Right.
again it's possible to do, even though like in its current state, what the exact wording that NASA used was this is ineligible for selection in its in its current proposal.
There we go. Yes.
Which again could have been corrected if that was the only problem. They would have just gone back and restructured the payment structure. Very similar to how they did with SpaceX. But the problem is, even if they went back and fixed that, they still wouldn't have been able to afford the bid, and the price wasn't close where they could renegotiate the price and get it close. I mean, it was more than double what SpaceX proposed, and even SpaceX's bid was technically unaffordable. They had to adjust the payment structure there to make it work. So there wasn't any point in going back and fixing that. But in the format that Blue Origin proposed their bid, it was ineligible to be selected by NASA due to this advance payment problem.
Interesting.
Do we know how much Dynetics bid was?
Hey, Ian.
All we know is that it was
a lot.
significantly more than Blue Origin, and we now know that Blue Origin's was $6 billion according to the New York Times. So, yeah,
a lot.
A lot.
And going back to what you said, Chris, actually about Dynetics and Blue Origin being Alabama companies, the fact that NASA had to do a single selection rather than a double selection, which many people had expected, was it was going to be a loss for Alabama from the start. Because even if they could do a double selection, say they chose Dynetics maybe, Alabama would still get something out of it. But doing a sole selection with a California, Florida, and Texas company gives really no benefit to Alabama. So I could definitely see Congress protesting, but I cannot see it go well.
Yeah, and you know, like not to belabor a point to death, but it is also worth pointing out that NASA was also very upfront saying this is what we need for the first one, right? We're still interested in procuring additional vehicles for the lunar landing program, right? But so they are hoping to do this again and open up competitive bids for other landers after the first one, right? This is just a contract for literally an uncrewed demonstration lunar landing and then the first lunar landing. Beyond that, it's still anyone's game.
Thanks, Turd.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on. Again, usually nothing really comes out of these kind of proposals, but
Thomas is right. This happens all the time.
or these kind of protests, excuse me. But worth keeping an eye on, and we'll see if maybe NASA at least takes anything Blue Origin has to say into consideration when procuring additional landings, maybe. But otherwise, just acknowledging that bit of news, and we'll see what comes from it. But for now, Starship is NASA's Artemis moonlander. So.
And a moonlander might begin to fly soon.
We're
Not
about
today,
to see
though.
an engine test of a moonlander.
Correct, Forge.
Yeah, not today, but we are expecting an engine test today. We can see tank farm activity is spooled up in Boca Chica, so Starship SN-15 potentially finally reaching its static fire today.
That's right, Sebi. That's the game.
Yeah, and as that tank farm activity continues to spool up, I'm going to bring this up really quickly because now we've got some shots of Interoil 82 from Jack Beyer. Both Jack and Michael were out there, and if I remember where I'm supposed to click to actually show this, here we go, there it is. Then we can see Jack actually got a couple shots as well of that charred rocket. Now, they also set out some remote cameras, like the cameras that are there at the pad, and they won't be able to pick those up right away. It's usually hours or sometimes the next day before they're allowed to pick up those remote cameras. But these were the cameras. This was their view of the launch, and we may get some even closer up stuff. But I'm going to paste this one into chat as well so that Jack, y'all can go over and check out Jack's shots directly there. There's that. We'll put it over on Twitch too. And there you go. Make sure you toss a follow to Jack and Michael. They were both out there today trying to watch that launch. Back to Starship.
Starship. Any updates on, or can we not show Fleet Cam because we're afraid of it breaking down?
Dude, I can show whatever we want to show. Here you go. How's that?
There we go. Just checking, making sure we're looking at other things
Just
too.
switch to a camera that's 1,000 miles away
I don't
from
know if they're
Boca
just
Chica.
going to go for a
Whatever.
straight lift here, or if they're going to try to fold the legs on the drone ship and then do the lift. They
I was
do
gonna
this
say,
over.
'cause-
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. Because I was going to say right there are two options, sort of depending on, I guess, kind of just which route they go. I don't know if it's weather dependent, but yeah, they can either lift him. They can either lift him over the barge, or they can put it on the
Falcon
sand.
9's
right,
huge,
Dust?
Chevy. It's
Yeah,
big.
so they have to fold the legs up, right? Because they're going to fold those legs up. They're going to lay the rocket on its side. They put it on a transporter. They drive it back over to CC Space. What is it? Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, I'm supposed to call it, right? So they've got to fold the legs up before they can transport it, and they can either fold the legs here on the drone ship. You can see that big blue thruster is a station-keeping thruster. That's what makes the drone ship stay in sort of one spot, or at least a predictable spot, when the rocket's trying to land on it. But sometimes they'll fold up the legs on the drone ship here, and sometimes they'll lift the rocket with the legs still deployed, and they'll fold up the legs on the shore. They've got like a stand on the dock that they can fold it up on. I don't know for sure what guides their decisions on that. I've always felt like it was sort of a drone ship turnaround time thing, where if they needed to get that drone ship back out there, they wouldn't worry about folding the legs on the drone ship. They just take the rocket over to the dock and then get the drone ship ready and send it back out to catch another rocket. But no comfort.
Why the heck did Jeff Bezos ask for more cash, or am I not understanding something? Rich people don't stay rich by spending money.
Like that, like there's all sorts
Pretty
of different
straightforward
reasons
stuff,
that
Jeffrey.
they may be folding that up that way. So I'll keep
Probably
watching
right,
that.
yeah.
On Port Canaveral, yeah. But focuses on Starship again. They just started up tank farm activity, so we're gonna stand by for a propellant load to actually start. But they're getting ready. Again, this is for a static fire attempt. There's not a hop today. There's no wind hop going on here. This is Starship.
You have to spend money to make money, Kappa. And you don't think Jeff Bezos has done that? Has he not spent enough money? Oh, that's strange. Ben, I saw you, Kappa. You don't think Jeff Bezos has spent enough money? Okay.
Also, Joseph asking about the Blue
right.
Engine pick, so we talked about that a bit. Thank you all so much for the support. Appreciate it. Josh saying
right,
greetings
Andrew.
again from SRB country. Does that mean Utah?
Ooh,
Yeah,
Utah.
But thank you so much for the support there. Appreciate it.
I'm also going to say there's so many people asking when hop in chat right now.
Don't you dare,
And
chat.
quite frankly, if
Don't
you're
you-
wondering when the hop is going to happen, you should probably let other people know by wearing a wind hop. Is that a polo shirt with an embroidered wind hop on it?
It is the way you're feeling, Bensei, or Class A.
I know. Oh, here's the wind sleep mug as well. That's the wind hop merchandise line. But we've got a couple things over in the store too. I'll link this up in the chat. Go ahead,
Oh my
Chris.
god.
You know when
I already have one hop shirts, dudes.
right?
Oh, it is.
It is.
no.
And When hop, a phrase coined by NASA spaceflight during the SpaceX Starship SN8 high-altitude flight test live stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Of course, we've
I
got
have the wind sleep
old
mug, guys.
Hoppy over there, waiting by not so patiently for the hop to occur. So if you're so concerned about when the hop is going to be, go over to shop.nasaspaceflight.com. I put the link into chat, and you can show people exactly how concerned you are about when the hop's going to occur.
So good.
There you go.
And we can
so
see.
if
Back to y'all.
go ahead, Ian. Sorry. Yeah.
So I was just saying the tank activity is really ramped up. You can tell we're getting further and further deeper into the countdown. I believe Adrian, our schedule, our spreadsheet guy, has said on
Guru.
Twitter that they're about 449 to 459 for the T0, so sometime around there, based on when the recondenser started up. So as we get further and further into the countdown, he'll be able to give us a more exact timeline to when we can expect T0 to be.
And I don't know if I'm going to try to put the T minus up on the top. There's still a lot of things going on. We're waiting for that propellant loading to start, but I don't know that I should try to put the T0 up there. Michael's out in the field. He was over there seeing that NROL, and the static fire just happened to coincide with that. So I am here beating some of Michael's code into, not code, I'm not recoding anything, just using interfaces that I don't always run myself. So I'll keep updating the checklist. How's that? It's a good compromise.
Yeah, we could keep the timeline up. We'll know our T0 time, so don't need to worry about the countdown, I don't think.
Yeah.
Especially given it's a static fire test and it's fluid and all that thing.
And Adrian has just DM'd me and told me he's expecting 453 to be the T0 approximately.
There we go.
So we are just under 20 minutes then. Thank you. Let's see, Andrew with the super chat. Thank you for the support. Appreciate it. Useless Theory with a new membership. Thanks so much. Alex, here's a question for us. Do we think that Starship and Super Heavy launches will get so mundane we don't cover every launch?
Oh, jeez. I mean, as long as y'all keep showing up, we'll keep
That's
streaming
true.
them.
That's true. As long as you guys keep showing up to watch, we will keep streaming them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A question here from
Please keep showing
Cedric.
up.
So yeah, so
I
please
can't
keep showing
find
up.
it.
Cedric asking, could Starship
Remo,
fly
put it
point
somewhere,
flights
guys.
without
I have
solid?
the one sleep
Yes,
mug. I
depending
bought
on
it.
the distance.
I don't know where it
Elon,
is.
I believe, tweeted about this a while ago, saying that if it's a shorter flight, you don't need the super heavy booster. If it's longer, you'll need the booster. So point to point will kind of be a combination of Starship only and full stack flights. But yes, there are certain routes that are short enough that you can still have the useful amount of payload on a Earth-to-Earth transportation flight with just Starship.
I like that it's sort of becoming like, you know, you're boarding the regional version of of point to point versus the global version. I like it.
And I'm sure the version with the booster on there will cost a significant amount more to pay for the fuel and upkeep on the booster.
Possibly, yeah.
Possibly,
I mean, not
yeah.
unlike
Yeah.
airline flights, different prices for different distances. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Thomas, I just saw a
Yeah.
question in chat that I have to ask real quick.
Okay.
We all saw in the daily video the
I don't know,
Starcat
Forge.
that was hanging out at
Yes.
SpaceX. What do they do with the cat during test? Does somebody like secure the cat?
I think the cat was at the build site.
Yeah, wasn't the guy at the build site?
So they
That
keep
looked like the build
like,
site fence.
The cat doesn't get to travel around. It like stays over near the build site. It doesn't come over to the test site.
I mean, I don't
I
think
sure
there's really
hope so.
nothing
Now
over.
you've got me nervous, Dust.
I'm
Nice,
just
right?
saying.
You good?
It's such a cute little star cat.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm super bummed about this afternoon or this morning. But
The mechanical
yeah.
dogs can go to the launch site. There we go.
That's why the
Mary
robot
confirmed,
dogs.
Cat is at the production site. We
Okay.
are good. Cat is safe. Thank you, Mary, for that important information.
I was gonna say
Whew,
that's why the robot dogs are at the launch site. They keep the cat away.
yeah, there you go. That's the real reason
Yep,
they have
done.
them. They're not inspection dogs.
No, the cat away. Aha!
Do you think they've held the countdown because they found the cat at the launch site?
Oh right.
I mean, I would hold it.
Range violation by a cat.
Hopefully, yeah. So the next thing that we're waiting for on the checklist is, of course, propellant loading. Where do we look to see if propellant is being loaded? The
Dude,
bottom
right
of
there.
Starship. Right
Oh,
there.
look at
what the?
And we've
So,
got
uh,
vapors near the bottom of the vehicle, so that
Yeah.
indicates propellant loading is in fact underway now.
There we go.
And that you can see right there, the left-hand
Freaking
side,
DOS,
you can see
man.
some of the vapors. This is basically the same exact danger cam. It's just cropped a little bit to make it look a little bit bigger. But this is the same camera position there, and you can see pretty obviously those vapors on the bottom of Starship there.
There we go.
indicating- Yeah, exactly. They've put some cryogenic propellants, cryogenic liquids into that thing. So let's update the timeline, shall we?
Sounds good.
It's
Again,
starting to
move-
breathe, right? It's going
Yeah.
through its morning
Yeah.
exercises, right?
It really is. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
I don't know, Kelly.
And we'll see
I
if
don't
we can
know
stay
about
on
this
top of
thing,
those super
Farfugio, to be
chats.
honest with
We're
you.
only 24 minutes behind. That's not so terrible. Thomas, somebody want to keep running those?
Why do you think the tiles are where they are? Tepic, they're at points of stress on the vehicle. So you gotta think about. So you don't say, oh, why did they put the tiles there? What are they trying to do, right? Why would you? What are you trying to do? The tiles, you're not gonna need them because it's just going up and coming right back down, right? That doesn't make any sense. So why else would they be there? So they put the tiles on there for a reason, because SpaceX thinks that something during the flip and burn maneuver is going to affect the tiles. Now, what would affect the tiles during the flip and burn maneuver? Stresses on the vehicle. Taking the rocket and doing this. So, if you look on the bottom side or on the windward side of Starship, tiles are at critical bulkheads, all of them. All of the tiles on Starship are in areas. Excuse me. All the tiles on Starship are in areas where they think the vehicle will deform from stress because of the landing burn. Or at least that's my guess. I don't know that for sure. The goal will be to use the test rig to impart forces on the nose cone when pressurized. This will mimic how the nose cone performs under the aerodynamic stresses of heading uphill on an orbital mission. Cool. We saw after one static fire that the same tiles broke on a single line moving up the vehicle. Really interesting how stress propagates. Yep, exactly. Like the seams on the shuttle's belly. Yep. Yep. You got it. What's good? Hey, Burke. So, yeah, like I said, why would they put the tiles on? That means they're worried about something else. So, just what I know about spaceships and how they work, you got it. It stresses on the vehicle. If you pop a tile, testing it now would be the best, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. If DOS would offer you a one-day full-time job at NSF, would you leave EJ for NSF? I could do both, Swishio. It's not a problem. If they wanted me to, I don't think they want me to. Don't you think they would have asked by now? But then again, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. As expected, did you see Blue Origin file the GAO protest? Yep. Yep. I mean, all the people that are getting mad at Blue Origin need to ask yourself one question. If this was reversed and SpaceX didn't get a lander contract, would you be okay with them protesting it? And if the answer is no, then you have nothing to be upset about. Well, I didn't say that right, but... There you go, Blue, exactly. This is how government contracts work, guys. This is part of the cycle. Even if NASA had selected Dynetics still, even if NASA had selected SpaceX and the national team, Dynetics would have filed a protest. This is just how this works. It's just a little bit more high profile this time around because it's Blue Origin and SpaceX. Yeah, that's right, Kevin. SpaceX would have sued faster than the national team. That's pretty funny, Ryan. I like that.
We're watching this for the first time. We'll see if there are other changes or other cues we can pick up, but that may have changed, absolutely. So good.
That's right, Entropy.
But of course, one thing we do expect to remain the same is that
Thomas.
10-minute warning that the deputy will give in focus.
Did the protests ever do anything? Sometimes.
That Mary would be able to hear a siren about 10-ish minutes prior to a
C-22, nice. Dude, I'm like 100% sure they didn't pick the X-32 because it looks stupid.
But yeah, it's a good point because we really don't know how much of.
But that's just me.
How much of the visual element has changed with it. So it will be interesting to see them head down toward the head down toward the final elements of liftoff or the final elements of the countdown toward Raptor engine ignition. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Liftoff is a couple of days away at least, but it will be interesting to see how things have changed.
Got some other comments and super chats here from regarding the Blue Origin and the HLS program. Andrew's saying that Blue Origin hasn't even made orbit. They have no base for an argument. To be fair, Dynetics is not a launch provider either. We're talking about Moonlander designs, so I'm not sure that's a one-one thing. I get what you're saying, but you know, Starship hasn't reached orbit either. These are future designs for future missions that are still under development. I'm just gonna point that out.
What Thomas just said right
Thank you for
there.
the question.
Getting into orbit is irrelevant
Dustin
if you're
White's
talking
also
about a
asking,
Moonlander
do you
contract.
think that NASA could have selected Starship for HLS, at least in part because SpaceX was...
Trivents.
Oh, yeah.
Aha. Alright, so Trivent...
Seems like Chris wanted to nix that question real quick. I don't blame him.
Maybe they were a little late, or maybe it changed the time of the process. We shall see. I know
Chris
Adrian
nixed that real quick.
Noting 4:44:05 in the spreadsheet right now.
Now wait a second.
We
is
have
that...
got Adrian giving me a new T0, 4:45 and 54 seconds. That is
there you go.
Just over a minute from now.
You
Very
can really see the
interesting.
direction the wind is blowing here.
Yeah.
And how
Dustin, we'll come back to your question after.
4:54, not 4:45.
54. Okay.
Good
So I was
number.
about to
4
ask.
minutes out.
Sorry. All right. Thank you, Adrian, for the typo.
Yeah.
No problem there. 4:54. Thank you. Okay. All right. So cool. We have time to answer this question then. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So Dustin asking, do we think that NASA selected Starship at least in part because SpaceX was going to the moon with or without them, and they didn't want to be beat if they had picked the other designs? I will start. I want to. Oh, go ahead, Chris. If you want to go for it, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna help you out. You've been talking a lot, Thomas. I feel bad. That's all I was gonna offer to let you take a break and to get a drink if you wanted, like a drink of water. I personally would not say that that's why they chose it. I think if that's why they chose it, every other company would have a major reason to file a protest. And for people to step in and go, you know, you have to redo this. And to be clear, that's not how NASA would make the decision. SpaceX was definitely interested in the moon for what it could provide for the overall, you know, versatility of the system, but it definitely was not their, this is what we're doing first, is designing a lunar lander. They are full bore on the Mars vehicle, but the Mars vehicle just so happens you can tweak it a little bit and it could serve you as a lunar lander. I think in large part it was the technical reliability of the design, especially since this lunar lander does not have to certify the Raptor flip and burn reignition for landing humans back on Earth, because that's not how it will land on Mars. I'm also hearing in the background that Mary is hearing the siren, so
Yeah.
that is further support that we are about 10 minutes away per what Adrian was saying a few minutes ago. Didn't want to miss that. It does look like we are at the T-minus 10 minute mark here, as the siren has been heard.
I mean, Phil, you said it's funny how all the space reporters on Twitter are against Blue Origin doing this. All right.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
A little bit of a breakdown here. They're mad because it's going to delay. It's going to delay going back to the moon in some way, shape, or form. However,
Discovery, go at throttle
hey,
up.
Lucifer and XPZ, thank you for the subs, guys. I appreciate it. However, it really comes down to, like I said, Phil, it's do one, do others. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that I'm not annoyed by this. All right? I'm annoyed because this has the potential. Okay, so if NASA screwed up and Blue Origin is onto something, then we got a big problem. That's NASA's fault. That's big time NASA's fault. However, if NASA did everything right and Blue is just filing a countersuit because they didn't like the result, you need to ask yourself one question, right? You need to ask yourself one question. If this was reversed and SpaceX didn't get a contract, you could be damn sure they would file suit. Would all these people be okay with that? And I think the answer is yes, they would be okay with that. So, even though I want Starship, I'm dead serious about that. I think Starship is a good idea for a lunar lander. NASA would have been dumb to not do that. I'm not going to report that as such. Like, that's my opinion, that I think the Starship is a good idea regardless of cost. They should have chosen it anyway. even if they could had the money to down select 2 landers, they should have chosen it anyway, if you want my honest to God opinion. However, with that being said, if this situation was reversed and SpaceX filed a suit, you know, and national team got the contract and SpaceX filed suit, yeah, I'd probably be okay with it. So, I don't think it's right to sit here and say that I'm not okay with Blue Origin filing suit, because I wouldn't have a problem if SpaceX had done the same thing in the reverse scenario. Do one, do others, man. You know? That's really what it comes down to. Do one, do others, you know? Like, there's no getting around that. Would I be cool if SpaceX filed a counter-protest? Yeah, absolutely, I'd be cool with that. So, I can't be uncool with that if Blue Origin plays by the same rules. That's dumb. I really don't like it when people do that. And believe me, I have a steel trap. I see who says that. I see. I know what's going on. That's the kind of stuff I remember. That's steel trap stuff up here. Blue Origin does have grounds here. Plus, protesting is a normal operating procedure when dealing with government contract selections. Rocket, as per always. NASA's gotten a protest at every single major contract offering. I'm sure they were prepared for this. And I just hope they covered their bases, Rocket Guy. And it sounds like they did, but we didn't hear anything with SpaceX protested Lucy's mission, potentially putting the mission in jeopardy since NASA could not work on Lucy till the protest cleared. And Lucy has a 2-week launch window. Yeah, no, you're right. We're about 5 minutes out, guys, from a static fire, not a hop. There's just a static fire today. Yeah, Zonku, it's par for the course. I think people are making a big deal out of it because it's so high profile. Granted, the owners of each respective company. And like I said, would everybody be up in arms if this was SpaceX? I try to call it fair, man. Like, even if I'm biased towards SpaceX, which I pretty much am, I think Starship's a great idea. This is literally what we should have pushed for with the shuttle. This is what we should have done. And I will say that's my opinion. That's my opinion. My opinion ain't always right. I thought DART was a good idea. Well, actually, that was mostly your fault, Chad. But no, I designed it. I designed it. It's my fault. You know, like I'm not correct all the time. I think Starship is the right move if we really want to be serious about going sustainably to the moon. However, sustainability means more rockets. So I want the competition to it as well. I'm greedy. I'm a greedy bastard. You know what I mean? I want the national team and SpaceX. However, if this scenario was reversed and SpaceX was filing suit, I'd be totally cool with it. So I can't be not cool with it when Blue Origin does the exact same thing. That's not fair. I call it fair, dude. And as somebody, I mean, I know people listen to me. Okay? You have to be fair about this. You wouldn't want something like this to come back and bite you. This could be bad for SpaceX down the road if they say, you know, like, oh, that's stupid that they shouldn't have done that, etc., and then have the same thing done to them for a contract that we could really want down the road, like going to Mars or something. You don't want that to happen. So, this is just the game, guys. You got to learn how to play the game first before you can criticize.
Yeah, you can really see it from Mary's angle here.
Yeah.
Good eye, Chris. Nice.
That's a header tank venting, isn't it?
I believe that is the header, which would make sense because you'd be loading.
That's right, C-22.
Yeah.
That looks, that's very different from what we've seen before. It seems like a more standardized one because the header tank vent we saw before was just a pipe sticking off.
Yeah, it kind of was like
See,
oh, we need a Kerbal it.
Fellas, oh god, don't mention Kerbal right now. Fellas, SN15 has different plumbing. It has way different plumbing than we've seen before. This is a totally different thing going on here.
They usually wouldn't even bother venting or fueling the
just
header
take
tank
us to other worlds,
because they
forget
would
the
just
politics
fire
and
from
money.
the main tanks anyway. I wonder why they're fueling both sets of tanks for just a short static.
So all I hear you, but we shouldn't kid ourselves and pretend like if we went to Mars that politics and money wouldn't follow us. They're a human construct. So if we put people on Mars, we bring our humanity with us. So let's not pretend like that's not going to happen if we go to Mars. The best we can do is learn from our history, you know?
I mean, it would be a way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone on your static fire.
Oh, Buck, you jerk.
Coming up in about 2 minutes here, y'all. We're at 2 minutes, but by the predictions. I think that chat is probably going to murder me if I don't stay on this camera. I'm not sure, but I fear for my safety reading some chat.
Yeah, that sucks. Whoever's
so-
compressor that is.
I want us on this version. Yes.
Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and stay here for now, unless we see something really big from another camera. But
isn't this how space
and
camp
after-
started?
'cause this
Thermal
will
curtain
get very
failure.
quickly obscured. It'll get a bunch of dust in its face. So we'll switch to a wider shot. We'll see if we can catch ignition from here.
I wonder if we'll be able to see the staggered start.
Oh yeah, one way to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucifer. They generally throttle the
And now we're
rocket
coming up
engines.
on
They
just,
get them to full
we're
power.
Just
It's-
over 1 minute away right now from static fire. And you can see on the right there that nose cone structure in the cage. I believe that's parked between pad A and pad B, actually.
Yeah,
That's
it
right.
is. It is. Yeah.
E-bone
And you can
Capone.
really see the venting now. If SN15 does the same, has the same
Oh,
pattern
thanks,
as the
James.
previous ones, the tri-vent should momentarily shut off and then turn back on. And that's about 17-ish seconds prior to ignition if the tri-vents are the same with the updated Raptor design.
All right, any
we
minute
have to wait
now.
and see.
And actually, at ignition, also the tri-vents will shoot out a very strong burst right before engine ignition.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see
sorry,
if that
that's the one I
comes
was
over.
referring- Sorry. Yes, if that wasn't clear. Yes.
Around 30 seconds on the prediction. It's all a prediction, right? But it could happen now. Static fire really imminent. We need another thing in the list.
Static fire really imminent.
It's just in bold, all caps, very imminent.
I'm looking for the puff in the tri-vent.
We are all quiet
Again,
now.
they could have also had a hold that we're
Hold
unaware of because we're doing this all visually.
Yep, and there could have even been a change in the countdown with different tri-vents.
Yes.
You know I can make it static fire, right?
You
I
can
haven't
change
put-
screens.
camera view,
Yeah, I
right?
can change cameras. As soon as I change cameras, it'll static fire. You watch.
Guys, I'm not looking at chat. I'm focusing right on that damn thing. Yeah, Hellfish, exactly. I
I'm
don't
not
know,
changing cameras,
Swishio.
by the
I have
way.
no idea.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
was
I'm
gonna say,
looking for.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm looking for anything different.
Somewhere, some poor people in chat were like, "No."
I see some people asking for the split screen. Right now, these two, or the cameras aren't synchronized, so you would see it static fire on one camera before you saw it on another. So that's why I'm not using a split screen for point-in-time events like this. So we could do that. We're just not set up to do that right now.
You know, in a different reality, that could be a cool experiment of how much farther away is the other camera.
Yeah. All right, I don't know if I can measure the speed of light using the distance between robotic cameras, Chris. I appreciate the point of confidence.
We have little faith. Come on,
Man,
we are called NASA.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, hold on.
Some venting. No, and I'm also watching the wider cameras. I'm watching all the cameras, but if I see like a big depress vent or something that wouldn't be obvious from here, I will.
Yeah,
I heard
exactly.
something.
And remember, about 2 minutes ago was a guess, an estimate based on what we were seeing. There could be a built-in hold. The timing of the tri-vent could have. Oh, sorry, there could have been an unplanned hold. The timing of the tri-vent could be a little different because this is SN15.
It's like when
the
you
first
poke
one of the new series,
when you poke a
some things
Pepega
have changed.
or a
We've
Peepo.
already
They go.
noted some significant visual differences in the venting this time. So not unusual and not.
Signs were 10
overly
minutes ago,
concerning at
Spaceman.
this point that we haven't had an engine ignition a few minutes past what the prediction was. In a
They
test
like to
campaign.
keep us on our toes. They definitely like to keep us on our toes.
They do. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That vent up at the top.
Yo!
There we go.
That sounded right.
Beautiful.
That sounded like it was a full duration, but of course we will wait for a confirmation now that and on the quick look data review that all is indeed. Oh, you can see they did indeed fill the header tanks. Look.
Yeah, it's icy up on the nose cone.
All right. Just out of curiosity, when does the road closure end today?
8 o'clock p.m. Central.
8 local. Yeah.
Okay, so there's still 3 hours left. Okay,
You think
interesting.
they're gonna do it? Chris, that's actually a really astute
That's
observation,
that's
man.
interesting, 'cause they did fill the header tank. That could be indicative that they're just fueling it to test it. Could be
Nope, main tank depress right there.
Try to get a static fire from the header tank too, especially if the design has changed. It would make sense that they might want
Another fire
I
is
don't
what they
know
would
if
do.
Jack can hear you right now, Chris.
I thought it was just loud in my headphones.
No, it's loud for everybody. Sorry, I'm working on it. That's what you hear right there.
Look at that.
How the hell they get these cameras, man? Joss, what kind of voodoo did
Dude,
you
the video
frickin'
actually
do?
matched the audio. Pretty close.
That's
cool.
Awesome. Well, yes.
Jim,
yes,
they
well, How
might.
rude of Starship to interrupt me like that with a vent. Yeah,
Hey,
no,
Josh,
all
I
I
think
was...
we're due for another.
Yeah,
time
Josh,
limit,
that
dude.
sounded way different.
Oh yes, thank you.
Ah, true.
What is it?
I got
Static
you,
fire
don't worry.
complete, right?
All right, I'm gonna
I
back
mean,
it up.
It's not detanking yet because it's not a long, like a prolonged depress or anything. But
All right, here we go. Ready?
They like to keep us on our toes. They definitely like to keep us on our toes.
This is the replay.
Yes, yes. That vent up at the top
Oh,
could have
try
been...
vent.
There we
Oh.
go.
Listen.
Go!
Sounded good. That sounded good. Distinct 3-engine ignition. Ba ba ba. 3 big pops right at the start, and I don't think we heard the honk at the end because we're close, because the camera is close. I think it takes time for that sound to, if that makes sense. Like at close range, it sounds different. Here, one more time.
They do. Yes, yes. That vent up at the top
Oh,
could have
try
been...
vent.
There we
Oh.
go.
Sounded good to me.
They certainly have time today if they wanted to. But again,
Yeah. Did
that's
you
a
see the
spitball
3
sort of-
engines start up? Isn't that
It
cool?
could be done.
These freaking cameras
These are
from
the
these
biggest
guys,
thing
man,
would
for
be
real.
awaiting the confirmation that the Raptors had a successful static fire there.
All right,
and that-
we'll back
yeah,
it up.
if better- and add the-
Drop the bass.
17-ish seconds prior to ignition if the tri-vents are the same as what the prediction was.
They like to keep us on our toes. They definitely like to keep us on our toes.
All right, I'm gonna mute this and we're gonna watch this in slow mo. Okay, somebody tell me if it blows up. It was there, Pi. It just sounded different. It was like it wasn't as pronounced. Okay, so there's 1 engine turn on, 2nd engine turn on, 3rd engine turn on. Yep, three pops, very distinct. Yep. You guys suck. You guys suck. I hate you so much. All right, ready? So watch. So what you got to do, what you do with rocket engines is you have to spin up the turbos. They have turbos on them like a car. So like, the car turbo goes zzz. It takes a second to spool. The turbo pumps on Raptor, there's 2 of them. There's 2 big turbo pumps on Raptor. We're talking like basketball size. Well, actually probably bigger than that. The 2 turbos are attached to fuel pumps, and that takes time to spin up. It takes time to spin up those turbo pumps. So right before they ignite the engine, when the turbo pumps are spinning, you see a little bit of propellant come out the bottom. Watch. It's very distinct. So there's 1. See it right there? There's 1. Ignition. There's 2. Ignition. And then there's a 3rd one that was a sequenced ignition. It was 3 right in quick succession. That was perfect. Looked great. Cool.
Like to keep us on our toes. They definitely like to keep us on our toes.
They do. Yes, yes. That vent up at the top
Oh,
could have
try
been...
vent.
There we
Oh.
go.
Sounded perfect.
All right.
It sounded perfect.
Oh, I'm not sure what that name is, but
That was perfect, man. It was a static fire, Coop, so it was only 3 seconds of burn. Yeah, the tri-vents didn't... well, Entropy, we know that the plumbing for SN15 is very different. It's very different this time around. If Raptors are more complicated than RS-25s, why do they spool up fast? The turbo pumps are capable of spinning up and spinning down a lot faster than the shuttles because of a hydrostatic integrated power head. No, I'm not. No, I'm not just talking turbo encabulator terms. So, Raptor's turbo pumps use a hydrostatic bearing. So basically they have bearings and they flow the propellants through the bearings. And the result of a hydrostatic bearing power head is very, 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 very high RPMs. That's why Raptor can sustain a full flow stage combustion cycle, because of the hydrostatic bearing power head. That's pretty much the reason why it can spin fast like that. Keep in mind, the shuttle engines don't take that long to start. You know, the shuttle engines ignite, like when the shuttle was lifting off, they ignite at T-6. But they are up to snuff at like T-5. And then they have 5 seconds of runtime to make sure that everything is working good, and then they let it go. Why don't we hear the pop on startup or at actual launch? I just think the microphone here, ProSkill, is... NASA Space Flight has a much closer microphone this time around. So I think you had definitely heard something different. Every microphone that NASA Spaceflight has had is a little ways away, and the way sound propagates over time it's called the Doppler effect. So this, because the microphone was a lot closer, sounded a little bit different. You definitely heard the pop of a combustion start. You don't usually hear that because there's usually not microphones this friggin' close to the rocket.
Blue Sensei with a one.
This is for testing aerodynamic load, Ivan. At least that's what I've been told. I don't know the validity of that though.
Takes Adrian's guesstimates and overlays it on the stream. You know, maybe we should set something like that up, or maybe we'll just get Adrian on the stream. I like that idea. Blue Sensei, thank you so much for the support. That really allows us to keep doing what we're doing. And
the Doppler happens if the sound or source receiver is moving. Oh. Okay. So stuff doesn't sound differently when you're distance away, predominant? What's that called? So if I'm like 100 feet from something and you're 10 feet from something, it's not going to sound different, huh?
they're not, not landing under the main Raptor engines.
Well, if that's the case, what's that effect called?
Engines are, I would doubt that they're Super Dracos. I think they're supposed to still use methane and oxygen, so you don't need a separate propulsion system for them. So maybe Raptor derived in some way, but they will likely be much simpler than like a full-blown Raptor engine. It'll be interesting to get some more details on what exactly those engines will be. Likely methane and oxygen fuel, but that's kind of all that we can really speculate at this point.
Attenuation, there you go.
Proper sensitive asking, is it me or does SF-15 look less janky than previous iterations?
Inverse squared law and attenuation. I'm glad we have so many experts in chat today.
I saw someone actually commented and they sent a question and I had it in the queue. If we look on the danger cam, actually, zoomed out view, you can see the fins, the aft fins at least, look a lot cleaner and a lot smoother on SN-15 compared to before. Because on earlier starships it'd be very wrinkly, but here you can see they look pretty straight and pretty clean.
It's just sound propagation,
just, lighting,
guys.
but they
Don't
do
worry.
appear to
Sorry,
be
I got something wrong for a change.
They don't look like quilts.
I apologize, my bad.
Yeah, they don't.
In the past, they looked like stainless steel quilts. Like you could
forgiveness.
lay down on them and they would be soft.
Or they just like stapled aluminum foil to them.
Yeah.
Alistair with the super chat is saying that the cat's name should be Tex, short for CatX, because SpaceX, CatX. Anyway, did the label in the daily video give the cat a name, or was it just Space Cat or something?
I think it asked for names. Like, what do you think the cat's name should be? Or Jack tweeted that, or so. I think somebody was asking what the cat should be named. Hashtag engagement. Tux.
Tux.
I like Tux. Tuxedo Cat.
But also Tex because it's in Texas, so I don't know.
Ooh, Tex maybe.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
A cat named Tex? I don't know. I'm not sold on
Jack
that.
said that he said comment what you think it should be named, but that he votes Starcat. So,
I am
there we
67, I mean, it was Camaro's best year, you know I'm right. Yeah, Yeah, I like 67 and 68s. Everyone likes the 69 Camaros, and those are all fine and dandy, but 67, yeah, I think the 67 looks better. Just a personal opinion, though. I mean,
Texas, he'll also accept.
Dish, if you really want to know, I'm more of a 68 Firebird kind of guy, but yeah, I mean, if we're putting it on the line, which is basically the same car with a better grille, but check Discord. Oh, okay.
Moldy Space Industries just said in the chat, Aries 1 fan cat.
Now, all right. Well, let's see if the stream crashes in the next couple minutes. We know it was the Aries 1 talk. I bet it wasn't though. Great. Aries
DOS
1
is still deliberate.
Yeah, DOS is just gonna crash the stream right now.
No, I'm
Don't
busy.
worry.
Sorry, I'm super busy. I don't mean to be ignoring y'all, but I'm busy. So.
No, you're just joking. You're good. Lewis with a super chat question asking, how long did it take to build the tank farm, aka how problematic would it be if Starship crashed onto it? How long did it take to kind of build up the tank farm? I know they kind of did it in stages, so it's not really a one-to-one comparison, but...
Yeah, it was built out during 2019, and I believe like towards the end of 2018 as well. That was for Starhopper, so it was very basic. Things were just sitting on concrete bricks. But now it's a little bit better, so it's been probably about like 6 months to get it ready for Starhopper, and they've been upgrading it ever since. The recondenser and everything now.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Matthew with Surge says thanks for the hard work. Matthew, we appreciate the support. A question here, what are the limiting factors for propellant loading speed? So there are a couple. There's the limits as far as how quickly propellant can actually go through the tank, so just literally the diameter of the valves and the piping that goes up to Starship. There might also be some limiting factors as to how quickly the temperature of the tanks can change without having any sort of problems there. When you're pumping super cold propellant into the tanks, the metal will actually shrink a little bit due to the temperature change, and if that happens too rapidly, it can cause problems. As long as you do it gradually, the system is...
The next DCSS ICPS fire will be on Artemis 1. Cool, man. Roughly what percentage of max thrust does the engine generate during a static test? Canadian, I don't know for sure, but I would assume they bring them up to full power. You don't want to start the engine at like half throttle. That's not a good idea. Think of it like if a car engine was trying to start at like 500 RPMs. Like if you turn the car engine on, the revs go high for a second and then they come down, right? Like same thing with rocket engines. You want to put the pedal to the floor and then bring the throttle down once you get a good stable ignition. Most rocket engines do that. You don't want to take the risk of starting an engine at half throttle. You could hard start you could hard start it if that happens if you don't get the mixture right. You want to start it at the mixture that you know and then bring the throttle down. You got a car with manual choke? Man, half my cars have manual choke, man. What do you want? So the structure just has the rocket bolted to it with big... Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if Starship is using explosive bolts or not, but... '70 Chevelle SS454. Yeah, man. I, too... wish I had 150 or 150 G's to spend on a car. There was a call out on the Starlink mission that said MVAC ignition and throttle up. Yeah, Lizard, it already fired. DOS is gonna
start
break
to
down the footage
things
here.
start to come out the bottom. again, this is a replay. That's why we can do next frame, as it clearly says in the upper right-hand corner. Oops. Well. I'm literally just stepping in frame at a time. Right there.
We go.
So,
there's one engine.
One engine.
I know, Ben, right?
One frame.
Das.
2 frames.
Don't
Look at
do
that.
it.
Single engine on. 3 frames. 4 frames. 5. 2 engines.
There's the second. Wow. And the third one should be in the middle of those two, I think, if I'm looking at this correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get the dust kicked up, so you can't really see, but you can really see when it gets brighter again. There's the third engine.
Third engine. Wow, look at that. That is very.
So we can count the frames. This is 30 FPS, so we can count the frames in between engine firings there.
It was like
Dude, look at what the flames do to the encoding.
Killing me, VLC. Sorry. So see if you can see it in real time. This is in real time this time. And it's about 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3. I'm not going to count. I'll get it wrong. Would have been close. That's real time.
If you're really looking for it, you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to see framing by framing it. But so if there's about 3 frames between each ignition, that could. Oh god, I got one. You said it was 60 FPS or 30 FPS?
This is 30. This one's 30 right now.
So a 30th of a second, so a 10th of a second between each ignition. About.
About, based on what we saw there, yeah.
Interesting. That is very cool to see.
Actually, I don't think that. Oh, that doesn't have the audio in it. The audio is recorded, so we have to get the audio from a separate source because it's not part of that video feed. It's a separate, dedicated audio source. So we can also do that. We'll have that audio available for the daily video, or the recap video, or whatever is the right way to say that.
Everything looked fine.
George,
Wasn't
with the
it?
super chat, thank
Wonder if the minimum throttle for rocket engines varies with atmospheric density. If it's an engine designed for sea level operation, like you start in space, you could operate it at lower throttle. Combustion is combustion, Nerd. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Hey, boo. Yeah, static fire looked fine. Why don't they flight test starships while it's standing on their legs, just like how it's supposed to lift off from Mars? Trunky, what would testing it from a leg down position on Earth teach us about taking off from Mars? Genuine question. So first and foremost, dude, I don't think SpaceX is that far along in development. Okay. I don't think SpaceX is that far along in development to be even considering what taking off from Mars is going to look like. First and foremost, they have to get that landing down, dude. If they don't get the landing down, then taking off is irrelevant. Second of all, I don't think testing it taking off from Earth like on its legs is going to be like, that's not going to teach you anything here. Mars is very, very different in that regard, especially where you'd be taking off from. Taking off from Mars would be more like an air start. So like the specific atmospheric conditions would like on the surface on Mars would be like similar to like 100,000 feet up on Earth. So that would be the place where you would want to test that. What with the legs though, I don't know, man. I'm not sure how that would work. Hey, Chunguska. Bolshoi Chunguska. I mean, Tronky, once again, you got to take into account that I'm just guessing, man. Yeah, Saul, they did helicopter on Mars. But to test Ingenuity, guys, they had to test Ingenuity in a vacuum chamber. Yeah, that's right. JPL put it inside of the reverse of a pressure cooker. It's the opposite of a pressure cooker. And then they started flying it with specific air density that was similar to Mars to make sure that it would work. And then when they went to test fly it on Mars the other day, and when they did helicopter on Mars, Mimi and the rest of the crew kept saying it matched our pre-existing data perfectly, which means their testing conditions in the vacuum chamber were exactly as predicted, which is good. That's good testing. Big Chungus is on the SPMT to be taken away from the launch area. Interesting. We are excited to announce and welcome SpaceX to What the hell? We are excited to announce and welcome SpaceX. Hold on. No, if I just read this off, people aren't going to believe me. What is this? How does it... We are excited to announce and welcome SpaceX to Long Beach, California. SpaceX is moving into a 6.5 acre SpaceX is moving into 6.5 acres at the port of Long Beach. We have a booming and growing space and technology economy, which is the largest of any city on the West Coast. Huh. How did they simulate the differences in gravity between Earth and Mars? Stone, they had the chopper on bungee cords, believe it or not. Bungee cords with the correct tension to simulate the correct gravity. Yeah, there's footage of that test out on YouTube somewhere, dude. Port of Long Beach, 6.5 acres. How accurate do you think this is? Seems legit, Reagan. Huh. Port of Long Beach, huh? Let's take a look. I mean, there's a lot there's a lot of space at Port of Long Beach. You know, and I remember at one time some guy drove off the Long Beach Pier once in a 67 Mustang. Yeah, Erasmus, the static fire looked great. Well, that's where we've heard about SpaceX scoring this stuff in the past. How many acres is this one? SpaceX already has some property leased out here. It's right there. It's a very small berth right here that goes from here to here. They have that property leased. This is a very old picture, though. Just read the instructions. It's about 3,000 miles away from where this picture is, and God knows where that thing is. That's Mr. Steven, or Mystery. They don't use that ship anymore. By the way, Port Canaveral was the first port I saw ever. Yeah, you know what, Sneaky? Port Canaveral's tiny compared to this. Port of Long Beach is... all that stuff that's made in China, that comes through Port of Long Beach. All of it. Everything that comes from Asia goes through this port. It's gigantic. You could be on West Ocean over here, you can't see San Pedro. It's that big. You can't see it. There's too much stuff in the way. Tacoma is bigger than Long Beach. Not a chance. No way. Not even close. There's no way that's as big as Long Beach. Oh, nice, Lavi. That's cool. If you include the Navy area in Long Beach, I would agree. There's no Navy area in Long Beach, guys. And now you're going to say, oh, DJ, the Navy... Yeah, it's not there anymore. It's more shipping depots. Check it out. See? It's gone. They got rid of the port of LA, the Navy port in LA. It got bracked. It got bracked in I think, 1998. See? And bye-bye. And bye-bye. And kept one dry dock. And... hang on. No more dry dock. Bye-bye. Boop. See? That's where SpaceX will be? Wait, what? It really became a dry dock. What do you mean, Thomas? How do you get the times? You gotta click right here. Pier T is where SpaceX will be. Pier T. Thomas, you don't think it has anything to do with this, do you? Not Sea Launch. Sea Launch is owned by S7 in St. Petersburg. That's this thing is even further away. That's in Murmansk right now. Those two ships. What do you think? Starship landing near LA. That's the only thing I can really think of, dude. SpaceX doesn't need a berthing... they don't need Raptor production. They can produce Raptors right in Hawthorne. I'm going to go ahead and guess that this is for Starship landings. And processing Starship from landing on the West Coast. I don't know if Starship is going to land out here. I highly doubt that, but... 6.5... guys, 6.5 acres is not a lot. That's not a lot of space. It's not. It's not a lot of space. It's really... How long before Elon gets a tunnel put there, too? Yeah, I know, right? Perhaps they will build Shortfall of Gravitas to be a Starship landing platform. It's possible. Yeah, 6.5 acres is not enough to build any factory. That's really tiny, unless you were making like one-off things. You know, like, can you show us the site again? Sure. Well, SpaceX says it's Port T. Port T is everything that's right here. What happened to Sea Launch? It's owned by S7 Group. The Russians bought it. That's cool. JPL is working on something nasty. Yeah, they always are. The facility would be used for launch vehicle recovery. There you go. Question is, what? I think I know the answer to that, Thomas. And I think you know the answer to that. No, launch vehicle recovery, Sean, not landing. There's no way in hell. There's way too much money to be lost that they would ever let Starship land in the port of Long Beach. There's no way that's happening. They're going to store Falcon 9s in it. Falcon 9 is ramping up. What? I've been to Murmansk twice. Every time it's a miserable experience. Sad city, sad people, some industry... and ex-penal colonies scattered around the city. Once in 92, second time in 21. Time stopped there. Well, Murmansk is not exactly an accessible place to be, dude. It's way out in the middle of nowhere. The only reason it was there is a port, right? Murmansk and Severodvinsk is way out there. They're out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, look at how far removed you are. It's way up in the Kola Peninsula, like way up there. Did I see your link? No. Please look at this. Yeah, tank watch it, man. I mean, this was a planned city so the Soviet Navy could have access to ports. And then up here in Severomorsk is where the cool stuff is. There's the Peter the Great right there. I saw the Delta IV launch with my own eyes from Lompoc. Freaking cool. Yeah, man. Absolutely. And then there's one more. I think it's... Where is it? Severodvinsk is over here somewhere. I can't even say it right. I don't know where it is. Didn't expect EG to check out my hometown of Severomorsk, Scout. Well, there's cool things there, Mr. Dimitri. I like that. Peter the Great, man. That's the flagship, baby. It's a cool ship. It's a nuclear-powered battlecruiser. That's pretty freaking cool, if you ask me. I mean, anybody that likes seeing Iowa-class battleships launch Tomahawk missiles during Desert Storm has this to thank for the reason why they did that. John, Kirovs are alright. Kirovs are cool. It's a cool ship. I forget where Severodvinsk is. Is it over here? Archangelisk, maybe? Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, there's some cool stuff right here. Take a look. Oh, yeah, baby. Just another target. I'm sure they say the same about us, dude. No, they paint the decks of their ships red, Jason. The Russians do. Where is Severnaya? I don't know. Archangelisk is where the dam is. I set the timers for 6 minutes, James. The same 6 minutes you gave me. It was the least I could do for a friend. Now, what do they got in there? Huh. Huh. The heck is this? Huh. They refurbing a Kirov or what? What is this? Cool. Not gonna lie, in the early 2000s, we used to have citywide drills about ICBM's threats from the US. Even in the 2000s, dude? Damn. Into the 2000s, Dimitri? Really? Huh. A new hotel? I see what you did there, Kuro. Yeah, Beer. What mod do you use to make KSP Moon Service look so nice? I just cranked the graphics up, dude. I mean, they did that, Dimitri, they did that here until about 1991. Yeah. Dude, I remember when... Dimitri, I remember when I was in school in the 90s, like elementary school. This is way back, so like 90, 93, 94. The maps still said USSR on them, believe it or not. The maps in school, they still said USSR on it. And I would get really confused. Like 5-year-old, 6-year-old EJ would get really confused because my teacher would be like, well, and this is the USSR, but that country doesn't exist anymore, so don't worry about it. I'd be like 6-year-old me was like, then why is it on the map? Why is it on the map if it doesn't exist? What are you trying to pull here, teacher? Just, sorry, it's a little anecdote there on the side. What are you trying to pull here, teacher? Checkmate, teacher. She's like, this is Russia. It's different now. And I'm like, no, it's not. It says it right there. It says it right on the map. How could it be different if it says it on the map? Yeah, teacher, you sus. Yeah, right. Oh, you were that kid. Yeah. Yeah, Phil. I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, man. Yeah, interesting, Dimitri. We never had missile drills in school. Yeah, we never did that. I was too young. We did down here in Florida. Are you implying that it's free real estate? Did your school have an air raid shelter? I remember all the buildings up here had fallout shelter signs on it, and I never knew what the heck that meant. Until history class. There's a new NSF video. Interesting. Yeah, we didn't dissolve. It was a joke, rolls ICBMs. But overall, we didn't have any anti-US vibes there. Just pragmatic because of mill equipment. The thing that sucked was Kursk. It was way too close for comfort. Oh, dude. Yeah, that sucks, man. That's just... Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Oh, wait, are we talking about the submarine or the city? No way. The sub. I was gonna say, wait, why the... Yeah, the sub sucks, dude. That's just unfortunate, dude. They, what they did with the sailors is not okay. They kept them down there, and instead of, you know, manning the hell up and asking for help, they let them die, dude. And that's not cool. That's not cool. Yeah, we have people like that over here too, man, that are still all herder Russia, you know what I mean? Like, you know, there's gonna be, you can't, it's hard to change that from people that have lived that their entire life, you know? Yo, I'm in Michigan now. Oh. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Could we have helped the Kursk? Yeah, but... So... What I like to do is I like to understand every point of view. The Kursk is one of their really, it was a really cutting edge submarine. I mean, arguably it still is, that class of submarine. I forget, I think it's an Oscar class, if I remember right. Those subs, like, you don't want people going and peeping your damn submarine. Like, that's why. It wasn't like, oh, we don't want your help. They didn't want people peeping the submarine. It's basically their version of ITAR. You don't want people peeping on your damn sub, because you know if they help you and they get a, you know, they send a DSRV down there, they're gonna have cameras on it, you know, and that means they're gonna see the submarine up close. It basically gives your rival, even still to this day, it gives your rival, like, you can peep your enemy submarine. That's something that you don't want. Submarines are a nation's closely guarded secret. It doesn't matter if it's the U.S. or Russia, or anyone, China, Japan, whomever. Like, you don't tell people about submarines. You don't tell people anything about your submarines. Nothing. That's a really bad idea from like an operational security standpoint. So in that regard, I do understand, but it still sucks, man. How close do you think Raptor is to its final design? Yeah, they'll get it there. Dimitri, 19 months. Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know how Destin's. I don't know how Destin got aboard a submarine, man. I don't know how he did that. You know, why did the Curse sink? They were training with a torpedo, and the torpedo basically went off in the tube because of improper maintenance. The Navy invited him. Location? No way. They are using pure T. Holy crap! They're using Sea Launch's berth? You gotta be kidding me. How'd the missions turn out? I don't want to talk about it. We had another bad DART re-entry, and I had to do a landing on unprepared terrain, and I stuck the landing novice, but the landing gear glitched out and promptly killed Jeb. Bob and Bill survived because of my crew cabin design, but... Yep, mission failed. We'll get him next time. Yep. I'm not in a good mood, dudes. I'm not having a good day. How's your Monday going? L82 is alive. Sounds like a successful mission. Right on. Jeb knew the risk. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't suck. So, no, it didn't... I mean, the lunar architecture is pretty sound, dude. It's pretty good. Except for DART. I want to say going back to a capsule would probably be the right move, but also... I should have developed DART better. I should have rolled out the second version of it. I knew the risks. Like, it's not that stable during re-entry. So we redesigning it. Well, chat really has to be the judge of that. China's state rocket company unveils a rendering of a Starship look-alike. What is this? There are funds for a funeral. I already paid out to Jeb's family. I paid out $350K, but Luna 7 or Luna 6 also brought me $400,000 in profit, so I'm doing all right. Losing the shuttle and Jeb is about that, so it basically pushed. How did Jeb die? I literally just said it. Finished my 5 out of 7 project reports. It's past midnight in France and I'm making pasta. Bon appetit. Have you seen the new season of For All Mankind? No, I don't watch trash. What does my shirt say? We're going to need a bigger boat. We are going to need a bigger boat because our boat doesn't work. Yeah, Reagan, I went to land it. I shorted the landing and I landed it in the hills, and I'm annoyed, dude. I stuck the landing. I stuck the damn landing. Like, I touched down perfectly on the side of a damn hill. And then I went to put the nose down, and the nose gear glitched into the ground, and it Kraken struck and made Dart do this, and then it came down tail first. Sucks. Sucks so bad. Did it static fire? Yeah, Dado, it static fired. The static fire looked great. That's not a realistic failure. I say revert. Yeah, Rogue, but I knew that the landing gear could do that, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you. What's after space news? I don't know. I already failed the contract. I'm not launching more Kerbals on DART and risking bankrupting the program. It's... You know, I've been pretty lax on risk aversion up until now. They're testing the RCS on Starship. Guys, take a look. Look, they were testing... Look. Whoa! Look at that! What the frick, dude? Oh! 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 Yo! That's awesome! They're testing the nitrogen thrusters. I say we end DART, but we give Jeb back, guys. That's what I was saying. Look, I knew that the landing gear glitches could happen. That's my fault. That's my fault. I knew it could happen, and I allowed it to happen. That's not... You can't wish Jeb back. He's gone. And so is Voyager. So I only have 2 darts now, and one of them doesn't work. Because of the tail. So, guys, I could keep flying darts. We could keep making them. We could keep putting them out there, but I'm not happy with it. I'm really not happy with it. I do not want... I don't think it's a good idea to... I mean, I already failed the I voluntarily failed the contract. 2 lunar missions short. The whole purpose of this was to prove that we could get to the moon reliably. I had 1 shuttle ditch in the water, and then a second shuttle ditch on the ground, and the first one didn't kill any Kerbals, but the second one sure did. So, no, that's, you know, once is just a fluke. Twice, yeah, that's, no. Nope, not doing that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we should switch to capsules or not. I just don't know. I want to keep going with shuttles just because that everyone does capsules, man. I would like to keep going with it, and I'd like to redesign the whole thing to get it really safe. I could do it, but yeah, who knows? Would Constellation style approach be a good idea? Sure. How much thrust do those cold gas thrusters produce? Arcsine, I have no idea. It's enough to move the vehicle around, so let's work on some probe tech for the rest of the solar system. Yes, let's just ignore the problems. Look at the front wings. Look at the front wings. Look at the front wings. Hey. That's cool, man. They're opening up the wings. Yeah, there's a clip somewhere, Zucal. Don't watch it. You're gonna get annoyed, man. I stuck the landing on uneven terrain with Dart, and it freaking ugh. Ugh. Did you see anything about this? Yeah, we just talked about it, Blackness. Very interesting, huh? We figured out that it's the port that Sea Launch used to use. It's just a berth. There's no, like, so at first we thought it would be like a factory for Raptor production, but it's just a port. They just have a berthing point. Like, it's 6.5 acres. So recovery ships. They're gonna do something with the recovery ships. So basically, you hit a rock on the ground. Yep. So when should we expect SN-15 to fly? Tom, are you asking me when hop? Are you when hopping me right now, bro? Dart 2 featuring some cross-range capability. How to Rock Dart already has cross-range capability, man. It's quite good. Can you make a VTOL shuttle? Yeah, it's really a wasted Delta V, Speedy. I like flyback in using the air that you're re-entering in to get back to the runway. I really need to do more aerodynamic testing. Oh my god, Karen, you can't just ask about when hop. Tom, tomorrow is what I think they're looking at. Either that or Wednesday. In the end, nowhere is safe from the Kraken. That's why I've always said, no, bug, not. You can't fix broken code if you don't run. Yeah, I mean, but there's ways to get around it, caveman. There's always ways to engineer around that. What do you have for robotics? Starship's high lifting bodies can be scaled down well. I don't want to do Starship, to be honest with you, Prey. I want to come up with my own stuff. I've been copying stuff to, and keep in mind, I copied the shuttle. I mean, that would be the one exception. I would really like to have Collins in career mode, or in mission mode, but that would be insanely difficult. That would be really hard to get done right. I know it's more mass, but it would be more safety. I don't think that safety Are Alright, it's a theory I have about spacecraft. You don't design spacecrafts to be safe. You design them to be reliable. Through safety, through reliability comes safety. Firm opinion on that. The second you try to make something safe, you're making it more dangerous. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I firmly believe that. Safety should always be a concern when you go to design something, but you should design it to be reliable over engineering stuff. Like modern bridge safety standards, right? But from a straight engineering standpoint, every single bridge ever built with modern building codes is over-engineered and inefficient. But you can't have that bridge falling now, can you? No. So you design it with a huge safety margin and the bridge is reliable. That's why it's funny because the bridges were built so damn well that people just sit there like, oh, it doesn't need maintenance, and then the thing falls over. But that's another story. What if you ejected the crew capsule from DART, land that with a parachute, and land the rest of DART with a probe core? Yeah, see, Zero, what you just said is a very good indicator of what I was what I'm trying to tell you. Making an ejectable crew tank from DART, and then landing DART with a that's way more complicated than just making sure it lands on the runway. Check last. Okay. It includes the buildings there since those used to be owned by Sea Launch as well. Interesting. How about a larger shuttle with an abort system that functions as a capsule? I'm not really about it, Kelly, to be honest with you. Yeah, Crash. Wait, what are my values? I'm sure you've explored this, but panel skid instead of front gear. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Hope things shape up soon. Yeah, yeah, me too, man. Could something like Clipper work? I mean, yeah, I guess. Maybe you could use parts with high impact tolerances to make a system that... Yeah, ArcSun, I mean, we could, I guess. But all the parts that have high impact tolerances are really heavy. Stretch the design of DART, make it longer, but basically the same width. Use as much of the reliable parts on DART as you can for design. I don't know, man. Maybe. Will there be KSP testing tonight? I don't really feel like playing KSP, Ryan, to be honest with you. Scroll down to the X-24, please. But see, this is why I don't really want to play KSP, because I want to let it sit for a second and give me some time to think about what's going on here, and then I'll be able to give you a better answer. That's what DART is based off of. DART's based off of the X-20. The X-24. Dreamcatcher was based off of the X-24. There's my bay right there. Oh, I freaking wish. That would have been so gnarly. Want to shoot stuff to vent tonight? I don't know, Grab Shark. I don't know, dude. SpaceX has completed static fire. Yeah, we saw it up close, Zonku. Yeah, it's pretty cool. See, guys, we're in the same position that they were basically after Challenger. Do you keep pushing? Do you keep pushing? Do you keep trying to develop it? Do we just keep going? Redesign it and go from there? Or do we, you know, like, do we abandon it and start over? It's hard to say. When will we vote on the next mission and deadline? I don't know. I don't know, Ryan. I gotta kind of collect my thoughts, man. The current dart factory is in the district of a powerful politician. You press it. Oh, God, Zero, spare me. Spare me. Also, the lease is for 2 years right now and can be canceled at any time with a 90-day notice. Interesting. Honestly, I would keep pushing and explore a panel skid. You could occlude the drag easily to massive things. Yeah, but robotics drift. Prey, that's my problem. They drift. After Challenger, 2 shuttles weren't... Guys, why does it always have to be a frigging technicality? Every freaking time. It always has to be a technicality. Well, this didn't happen. Well, shut up, dude. Come on, man. You're freaking killing me right now. Every time. No, it's not going to be exactly like Challenger. You know why? Because DART isn't a space shuttle. It's not a NASA space shuttle. It's our own design. I'm trying to come up with an analogy that people will understand. The reason why we have analogies is because it's never exactly like the real thing. It's close. It's an analog for it. It's close enough. Like, there's no point. Like, oh God. There's times to be technical, and there's times not to. Every time, man. What actually happened to Challenger? The O-rings didn't work, and they knew they malfunctioned, but they malfunctioned, and the shuttle made it into space previously just fine. And then they malfunctioned, and then they launched it when it was windy, and the wind hit the O-ring, and then those two combined blew the shuttle up. What do you want to know? So, oh, crapshoots would be worth adding. No, you know what would be worth adding, Bro Handy? Getting it back to the runway every time. That would be the, thing worth adding. Did Jeb survive? No. No, he didn't. I say keep going with Dart development because this was a fluke accident due to a bug in the game. I agree, Prey. Is there any way to add a jet engine for cross-range capability? Man, I'm really happy you guys don't run space programs. You guys would make SLS look cost-effective like that. Out of curiosity, why is parachute bailing not a re-entry abort system you're comfortable with? Dart's 7 tons, man. It's 7 tons dry. Parachutes, we'd need like 8 parachutes to get that to, well, not 8, we'd probably need like 2 or 3 to get that to work right. And at that point, why don't we just build a pod? So add ejector seats. Oh boy. Guys, let me think about it. Okay, give it a day to stew or something. All right. Air breathing engine to add that extra energy in a pinch. Okay, yeah, no. give me some time, okay? Give me some time to think about what I want to do, and then we'll go from there. Why did that gear freak out? Why did the gear freak out? Why couldn't it just not bounced and then we'd be on our way to the moon again right now? God, this one's gonna come back to haunt me for a while. I just want to go back to bed. The entire document in one picture. Interesting. That's cool. Cool news. Minecraft? I don't know, man. I don't know. Lemprod, I'm just in a screw it kind of mood, you know? And I know I'm being a dick today. I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't be. But yeah, it's just tough day for me, man. Tough day.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Xeon, happy Monday. Yeah, you too, man. Let's launch Collins. You know, I'm bumming. I'm bumming because you guys gave me all those hype trains on Saturday and, you know, Friday, and this is how I repay you, by killing Jeb. Boy, do I suck. Ugh, God, I'm terrible at this. Which orbiter did you lose? Oh, Voyager. It was an entertaining mission, quite. It was going actually pretty good up until that point, you know. You killed Jeb twice this weekend. Yeah, but Pruffles, you don't have 15,000 hours in KSP, man. There's no excuse there. What are you going to do about the crew at the station? Ryan, I'm going to be a little more candid than I usually am. I don't want to talk about it right now, man. I don't know. I don't have all the answers right now. I'm still a little pissed off. So, one thing I know not to do is make an impulse decision when you're annoyed. You know? Let's not blow things out of proportion here, shall we? How did you lose a Kerbal? There's a clip floating around. Go and find it. Self-deprecation is an especially French thing. Stop stealing our hard-earned stereotypes. Well, Alex, I mean, ethnically, my family comes from Parma, Italy, so it's not that far off. You know, my grandparents were off the boat, you know, so it's not that far. It's not that far away from France, man. Static Fire was fine, Wii Sports, yeah. Yeah, Forlin, I just don't feel like engineering anything right now. I want you to say this line like it was done in a movie. I'm in a glass case of emotion. It's quite close. Yeah, you could probably get that talk bad to tourist license. Yeah, I mean, Alex, I'm very tough. I'm my own worst enemy, dude. That's a character flaw, I guess, but it also works for you a lot, too. You know? I really make sure to put myself down if I make a mistake. That way I know it's such a built-up thing in my mind, I won't make that mistake again, you know? It's a freaking tortured existence, man. It sucks. It sucks doing that, but that's the only way my stupid ass learns. It's true. Milk was a bad choice. Let's do Starship stuff in KSP. I like, for like the third time, I don't really feel like playing KSP right now, guys. Open TTD or squad. Can I just, like, do truck streams tomorrow and that can make up for it, and then we'll figure it out on Wednesday? Is that fair?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I just wanna go lie face down in bed for a day. I'll make it up to you guys on Wednesday. We'll figure out what we need to do. Well, I want to work on the truck tomorrow, guys. And it's already 7. I've been already going for 10 hours. I started really early this morning because I wanted to try and get all the missions done. But I didn't really take into account killing Jeb today. I didn't really want to do that. But play RimWorld. RimWorld is one of the only games I've ever raged quit completely, like furious, and never touched again. Screw that game. Is this EJ's Team America throwing up in the alley? Get out of the street, you freaking bum! You gave up on life, didn't you? What happened in RimWorld? Yes, the game gave me an impossible scenario. There was literally nothing I could have done to beat it. I know, because I tried reloading it a couple of times, and there's still no way to do it, and I was just like, yep, nope, I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm not playing this game. I hate this game. Yeah, Native, it pissed me off. It pissed me off sufficiently enough where I'm like, I don't want to play this game anymore. This game will make me rage. What EJ described is RimWorld. Yeah, it's a very it's very rectal optometry simulator. You know, they say that being a rectal optometrist gives you a real crappy outlook on life. No? Alright. Boo! Alright, so fellas, I'm gonna boo, my leg! I will be back for you. Well, I don't know, man. It's only 7 o'clock. Maybe we should play something else. I don't know. Another fail. I mean, Vega launch. Kappa. Oh boy. That's nice. Did you see Predominant's new game? I did. Is it called the Doppler effect? I'm just kidding. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm in be a jerk mode today. Oh, come on! I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That was below the belt. If you hate me, I understand. I'm going to sleep, dude. Now you gotta play it on stream? Maybe for early hours on Wednesday, dude. I'm going to bed, guys. Let's see. Let's look around. Let's go see what Taradra's up to in Valheim, okay? He's doing something over there. Let's go see what he's up to. I'll probably be around for a truck stream tomorrow, guys, but I'm gonna go get some sleep. I need to sleep this one off. This one it really pissed me off, dude. I usually don't let the game piss me off this much, you know, like. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. for the truck stream, and then I'll, yeah, we'll figure out where to go from there. On Wednesday, we'll figure out what we need to do. I don't want to go back to the moon unless Dart is like 100%. Like it's the rest of the lunar, and it sucks because the rest of the lunar architecture is quite good, but we'll figure it out. So go see what Taradra's up to.